left and I'm on the right. Did you you restream from your channel, right?
Yep. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, people. J Beebs, 832. Oh, I finally figured it out, Tony. When I see, so tonight your notification came up from your channel for our stream, and it was 8:30, and I've been trying to figure out for the longest time, why does it keep saying 8:30? It will show me your local time when that's posted on my queue, huh? It will show Texas local.
It should. I mean, yeah, that's my local time, but it should reflect your time when it shows it to you, I would think.
I thought it would too, but it didn't. It didn't. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got KM, Kathy, Daily Taylor, Adrian. Good evening. Keith, Gary, Steven, Derek, Andrew. Some names I don't recognize. Let's see. Let me get some Rafi, Daily Taylor, Dream of Stuff. Here's this. Okay, do you want to try this? Let's try and do this together. Wait, yeah.
What's pronounce the name?
Yes, yeah, because we both tried last week and we couldn't do it.
I've been practicing.
Fart, aculasticious, tickus,
Farticolasticus, spastica. I haven't got the last name. Farticolasticus.
Spasticles. You got the first part. I got the second part.
Spastasticles.
Spastasticles. All right, we're moving on.
Farticolasticus, spastasticles.
I got this one. End the clutch. Good evening. Good evening. Nate, good evening. Floyd, good evening. Hammer, good evening, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Kathy, Kyle. Enotana says Trump won. Jesus. Talking about Trump already? Just got started. Brian, good evening. Christopher, good evening. Richard, MD, Lizzie, Frankie Muhammad. Hey, buddy, how you doing? By the way, Frankie, thank you for finding that that video the other day. The Kevin O'Leary video. Thank you for finding that. I don't think we've seen anything from what he said yet, but doesn't matter. I wouldn't have known about it probably. Let's see. Smith, Gregory, KL, Jarvis, Dr. Dazzle. Got a lot of Tony's people in here. Oklahoma Sasquatch. Doc Zeno, good evening. Steven, Galen. Let's see. Wow. A lot of purple here. This is Headstock. Harem, good evening. Anus. The deaf guy. Ryan, Jamie, J. Beebs. Hut Do. Gary, good evening. Good evening, guys. Good evening. How many we got? Whoa, 261. Wow. Guys, if you remember, Jeffrey, good evening. If you guys remember to hit the like before you come in, that would be awesome. Stacia. 24 in the money. Good evening. Someone's saying Elohim. Okay. Droob says, I'm so excited. How's everybody feeling today? The last name is Greek, said Spartacus.
Spastasticles.
Oh, there you go. Spastasticles, like Pericles.
That Greek class I took finally coming in handy.
I'm Greek. I thought I would have had to edge up on that, but nope. Let's see. Tendy Time.
What's up, Tendy Time?
How you doing, buddy? Brian, Forks. Got a lot of Tony people. A lot of my people, too. It's about half and half, looks like. Gloria, Christine, good evening. Good evening. Oh, Yuckerfurta makes a great point, Tony. Look at
What's that?
Yuckerfurta's point. So my Gensler and Robot Godzilla have backstabbed retail investors.
I was laughing on my live stream this morning because I did tune into Wanna Lose videos, and he said, I don't want to talk about Gary Gensler. I've been telling you guys for a long time, you're on your own. We're on our own.
I know.
I was like, well, I remember watching you in 2021 and in early 2022. And that I don't think I ever heard the message we're on our own. It was always like, my Gensler, he's got
it was us. Like the love affection, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Warmth.
Yes. All of a sudden now we're on our own. I mean,
I didn't see that knife coming.
I say, to my friend Lou, big hugs. Welcome to the group. Finally on the same page with the rest of us. Yes, we are on our own. The SEC don't give a shit about retail.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, we're finally all on the same page, Lou.
Welcome
to the club.
Welcome.
Like Gary Gensler doesn't give a shit about us. Juan, good evening. Adrian, good evening. King of the North, good evening. SoCal Ape, I saw Rafi in the house. Kathy, Shannon Rice, good evening. Mike Millspaw, what's going on, buddy? Boston Celtics, let's go. Let's go. Can't believe we beat them on the road. Unbelievable. And this team of all teams, right? Like the weakest one, you would think, in the last 5 years. Let's see. Hey, Ducky Joe, what's going on? Mike Lang, good evening. Kyle, Adrian, we got Kathy. I got Ape Logic. Oh, a lot of people in chat. Lupe, good evening. Good evening. I peed on Kenny. What's up? Floyd, good evening. Irishman Greg. Oof, oh, man. All right. I think we got through a lot. We got a lot of shout outs. Edward, good evening. So T, what's new? What have I missed? Anything spectacular?
What have you missed in the past couple days? Let's see. June 1st, we had quantitative tightening kickoff. Wednesday. Yeah, yesterday. I'm going to talk about that a little bit at some point tonight because I think maybe some people have it in their, I don't know. I've watched one or two videos saying that overnight, by Friday, this is going to magically change the markets and drain all the liquidity out of the hedge funds. It's not quite like that. So we'll get into that a little bit. Quantitative tightening is in place, executive order. The cutoff date for these institutions and funds to be out of these Chinese military companies is tomorrow, unless Biden decides to extend it. We got that. What else? The GameStop shareholder meeting today.
Went well.
We should talk about that. I tried to listen to it live this morning, but you had to register by May 27th, and I didn't realize that. So BioLife Hemp, thank you, friend. What else? Biden, Joey B, talking tonight about guns and the Second Amendment. Janet Yellen apologizing for not understanding that inflation would go up if you printed money.
Hey, she's only Secretary of the Treasury, right?
Yeah.
It's not a
Hopefully she understands what quantitative tightening means.
Yeah, not easing. Yeah, we don't want to go the other way. Seems like a lot of people think we're getting a little bounce here in the afternoon. I mean, from what I could get, are people listening to the experts on TV? Because Jamie Dimon just came out. What did he say? He said we're in for, what did he say? We're in the middle of a tornado that hasn't hit yet.
A hurricane, he said.
Hurricane, that's it. Hurricane. Yes. Chris Callis, good evening. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I talked about that on my market wrap video last night, and I featured his speech in front of the analysts. He said, we got Russia, Ukraine potentially pushing oil up to 175 a barrel, plus the Fed raising interest rates and doing quantitative tightening. But we were talking in the Discord today. Folks are trickling news into me about companies they're hearing about that are doing layoffs. And now Gemini, the crypto exchange run by what's their name? The Von Twinkles.
Von Winkle twins. Winkleross.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
They are laying off 10% of their staff.
I saw that.
And predicting a potential crypto winter.
I saw
which,
that.
I don't know about the crypto winter. Maybe we'll just be in a stall for a while. Maybe we'll go down. I don't really care. But I think it is prudent for them to, better to take preventative action early and reduce staff than, some of these companies, when times are flush, they overhire, right?
Yes.
Better to be proactive, I think.
Well, when you're allowed all this easy money, this easy cash flowing through the system, it's easy to hire all these positions and put all these people employed when you have this free flow of money. As soon as you tighten that up, obviously layoffs are going to follow. You've seen it with Netflix, all the big companies. Go ahead.
When I was in the corporate world and I was a manager, we always had to have a list of our bottom 10%. I don't know if you guys have experienced that in any of your corporate jobs, but every quarter we had to rank and submit the bottom 10% we would let go of in case times got lean. And in the 15 years I was there, we had to pull that list out at least 3 or 4 times. Never easy talks, but I mean, what option do you have when the economy slows down and the company sees that revenues or profits, one or both, are going to take a hit? You got to be proactive.
I wonder how many of these companies, looking back, will see the potential for how much money they were able to piss away by doing all kinds of things and hurting their customer base or alienating parts of their customer base, and that affecting the bottom line. I wonder how many will look back and regret that, not doing their fiduciary duty to their shareholders.
You mean like Adam Aaron and the whole?
No. Just I mean like someone like Netflix, who's putting all this money into this programming that nobody's watching. And finally they said, enough is enough. Listen, if you don't like what we do here, what we're putting out, maybe this isn't a place to work for you. They're finally catching on, is what I'm saying.
I've been seeing the tide turn a little bit, right? Elon Musk telling his staff, come to the office or quit.
Yep.
What was that lady that just quit at Facebook, Meta? I forget her last name. The right-hand chick.
One of the CFOs.
Yeah, was she CFO?
Not Vijay, not the lawyer, right?
No.
Vijaya? Not Vijaya. Okay. I don't know who the woman is. All I know is I know the Indian guy who's the CEO, and then I know Vijaya.
And then Netflix also. I'm just wondering, and what's going to happen with Disney? Is the woke agenda going to start affecting these companies?
I wonder. I know Disney's getting a lot of backlash right now. Big backlash. They're getting like a 50% rating on IMDb right now for the last show that just came out, and that's not good. That's abysmal to be able to screw this up. Let's see. Grandpa Barney, thank you very much. Since we're a bunch of GM game show contestants, Grandpa would like to buy a vowel. LOL. Thanks, Grandpa Bunny. Let's see.
Sheryl Sandberg was the name of the person I was looking for.
From Meta? Okay.
Yep.
She stepped down. And what was the
Chief
significance
Operating
of that?
Officer. Stepping down after 14 years with the company.
Interesting. Nikki, I'm sorry about tonight. What's that?
Someone, Yuka Frita, said Lady Meta Face.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
By the way, I saw that Facebook is officially changing their ticker symbol also coming up here in a few days.
To
Meta.
META. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, there's a bunch of people live tonight. Amy's saying, I love all the live show tonight. I guess Al from Boston is live. Some other people are live. Someone was saying that that June 3rd was overhyped. Hold on. Let me see this. And I just want to say that I don't know, for the last couple of weeks, I think me and Tony have been pretty clear about our stance on June 3rd. I don't know how much more specific we could get.
Yeah, we did purposely put it in the thumbnail tonight because we know that you guys are asking about it. I mean, it was the #1 question I had in the morning live stream today, but neither one of us have put out a video saying that anything specific is going to happen on June 3rd in terms of a stock squeeze on AMC and GameStop. So let's just get that out of the way early on. Are there a lot of different catalysts that are all circling and happening tomorrow and next week? Absolutely. Are any of them going to be a meaningful catalyst? Well, that is really the debate, and I've been more of a I'll sit back and hopefully be optimistic, but I'm not going to make a video saying that this is for sure happening the first week in June. I haven't been able to connect the dots to say that that is definitively happening. But just in case, Massalorian, I bought some call options.
Nice.
to add a little sweetener to my shares.
When did you buy Multil? How far out did you go? If you don't mind me asking.
Some expire late July and some September. So that also tells you that I'm not expecting anything next week. Otherwise, I would have gone the cheap route and buy some expiring in a week.
Yep. Absolutely. Nikki, sorry about that, about the C's game. I know it's game 1. I apologize, but I'll actually just let you guys know now. I don't think I'm going to have trouble the next couple of days getting into any live streams or videos. I had a family member that passed away early yesterday morning, and the services are going to be coming up next couple of days. So I wanted to get on tonight just to make sure I touch base with everyone. I'm sure people are concerned about tomorrow, but if I'm not around this weekend, I've been dealing with that for the last couple of days, and it'll be a couple of days going forward, unfortunately, as well. Let's see. Steven was asking, Steven said, do you think we'll get attacked tomorrow? Something to that effect, because of all the hype that we have going. Where was it? I just had it up. He was basically saying, do you think that they're going to attack us tomorrow? And here's what I'm going to say, Steven, because I made this big mistake last Thursday, and I came out and said, Friday, we probably will have a typical Friday and go down with AMC. And last Friday was complete opposite. We finished over $14. So for me to try to tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, I already ate that last week. I don't want to eat that again. That's enough for me. But I don't know, Tony, do you have any, thank you guys. Thank you for all the condolences. Appreciate
it. Max Payne for tomorrow is what? $13. Is that right?
Yep.
Short interest continuing to go up. I had the Ortex here. Let me see if I still have it. That's Mullen. I was looking at Mullen tonight too while we were waiting. Short interest continuing to go up. Let me just change this. I don't need to see red box anymore. AMC. So to answer your question directly, though, if I had to guess, no, I don't think they're going to specifically attack us tomorrow. I think it's going to be a normal Friday where Max Payne comes into play, and that we will follow the indexes. And if money is flowing into the market, then AMC will go up. And if money is flowing out of the market, like the indexes are going down, then we'll go down. Short interest on AMC, 23%. We're now over 23%, 23.14. Cost to borrow average 11.3%.
That's got to be all-time high, right? On short interest?
Both of those numbers are some of the highest they have ever been. Way higher than they were this time last year when we ran up.
What was the average on cost to borrow? You said 11?
11 is the average. 19.8 is the max. I don't really look at the max. That's an irrelevant number.
Chris Norland was made a video saying, do you think Keenan Grace is a fraud? And he was talking about Keenan and the way he displays numbers, and that he is, he's trying to, he always circles he doesn't circle the average. He always circles the high, which, okay, fine. Like, I could see being positive, if trying to be positive, right? You're going to take the high number. I don't think it's misleading. I don't think he's doing anything crazy. He's just saying, like, hey, sometimes it's going to be this high. But having the average.
When you go to get a car loan, you might get an interest rate offer between 2% and 8%, right? One's the minimum, one is the max. Some people pay the max, but most people pay the average. And I think as long as the content creator is telling you that's the max, it's incumbent on you to understand what the word average means.
Yeah, right.
As the viewer.
Yep.
So, if he was hiding the numbers or hiding the text that says max, I would have a complaint about it. But it can be misleading to someone who has never looked at this before, if that's the only number you focus on. And to me, it's just really not exciting to talk about cost to borrow max, because most people are not paying that.
Right.
But it is really exciting for me to see that average went from 2% to 11%. And that's what I've been saying for the past couple months. I could give a shit about 100% utilization until I see cost of borrow going up. That
Going
is
up.
really what we need. That's what you need. Cost of borrow. That's when you know they're really starting to run out of shares.
And we've really been going up. I mean, we were at like, I think 2% just a couple, maybe 10 days ago. So that's been a really fast pickup, really fast.
And if they keep borrowing at this rate, be 20, 30, 50%, just like GameStop. You saw that same climb happen with GameStop. It just is boggling my mind why, as we continue to see more and more movies posting big numbers, they think that it's a smart idea to borrow shares at this price. The risk has got to be phenomenal, don't you think?
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
but
maybe they're the ones that can afford to gamble, right?
I'll tell you what, I was looking on Fintel today at what is being shorted in the market most, and the biggest shorts by far out there are by dozens by dozens and dozens of institutions. So I think it's a safe bet to say that a lot of money is expecting a lot more. What is the proper word to use? They are expecting to go down in general.
They're anticipating.
So maybe maybe that is what is giving them the confidence to short all these stocks. I mean, they're spending millions of dollars shorting. Well, I mean, they're shorting it, so they're earning money, but putting millions of dollars of risk by shorting the SPY.
Yep.
All it's going to take is Russia and Ukraine to make peace, and all those positions are going to get wiped out.
There's a lot of talk about that. I'll fill you in a second. Just want to pull up Maggie here, and thank you guys for all the condolences. I really appreciate it, everyone. Thank you very much. Did GME play its investors by dangling a stock split and then failed to deliver? So Maggie, we just had the vote today, right? And now that's given them. So T, make sure I explain this correctly. So it gives them the ability to have up to 1 billion shares total that they'll allow to have the float go to?
I think that's correct. I made a video on this a couple of months ago when it was first announced, and then I purposely have not made one since then, because the next day when I read it again and read into it further, I saw that everything was very nebulous, right?
Yes.
The stock split was not defined. There's no date. There's no ratio. And the dividend even was, if the board approves it and decides to push it out. I was like, well, that's all well and good that they're pursuing this as an option, but nothing is definite. So I just stopped talking about it until I hear something from them. Otherwise, I'm just getting people all amped up over nothing. Yep. So now we're just in the holding pattern to wait and see what they do.
Okay. All right. So,
but yes, everything on the proxy was approved, right?
Yes. And so they didn't make any board moves today, correct? Everything stayed the same as far as that goes?
Sorry, someone was saying my mic is breaking up.
Oh, it sounds good to me.
Might be maybe my internet connection. What was your question for me about the board?
There were no board seat changes, right? People were talking about his last tweet being cryptic about something happening on the board, but nothing happened on the board, right? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Got it. Let's see. All right, this is gonna be a random question I'm pulling out here. I have no idea what it says. Is the reason GME didn't say the stock split number is they want to surprise the hedgies? That's a good question. So you mean leaving it open-ended so they have no idea if it's going to be an onslaught of shares released, or if it's going to be, I don't know, 500,000, right? I guess it gives them options to do anything, right? I mean, this leaves them wide open.
Sorry, I was trying to read. I've got about 1,000 comments I'm trying to catch up on too.
That's okay.
Someone was asking to have someone blocked from the chat. So He's I'm not going to block him. He doesn't agree with everybody, and that's fine, guys. Someone that is listening tonight does not have to agree with buying AMC or anything that we're saying. Only if it gets if someone's personally attacking people, then we'll boot them out. But everybody's welcome. We do try and discuss both the positives and the negatives so that you guys can make informed decisions. And these are, I think it's fair to say, both Massalorian and myself are fact-based channels. Are we bullish on these stocks because their fundamentals are improving, and we think that the short thesis that they're going to $1 or a penny is incorrect, and that ultimately the shorts will have to cover? I think that's fair to say. But we still, both of us, spend a lot of time looking into facts and due diligence and financials, and not pump out a lot of hype, but focus on what is realistic, so that when a short squeeze happens, you guys can take a profit and not be left holding the bag.
Yeah.
Did I summarize that fairly for you?
Yeah, that sounded good. Yeah, for sure. 100%. LA says, is the reason GME didn't say the stock split number? Oh, we just asked this, and we just said, yeah. Do you think that yes, okay. That is a good answer, I believe. Let's see. Do you think it's getting personal? Greg says, do you think it's getting personal for the hedgies to keep shorting? No, Greg, this is business for them. This is all about money. I mean, there's definitely some egomaniacs in this business, no doubt about it. And I believe ego definitely is playing a role. But they also don't want to lose this game, right? Nick says it's just breaking up for maybe just him. Yeah, to your mic sounds okay to me. I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Let's see. Timmy says, "Hey, Mass, I think they are so out of touch with reality that they think they can't lose no matter what. They are in for a wake up call." Yeah, I mean, but I think they know that. I think they are well aware of the buy and hold, and that we are all hodling the stock. I think there is no question about that, right? Don't you think? I think they know that that's the case. It's just a matter of how long can they hold out without having to close out those positions. How long can they continue?
They have decades of experience and algorithms and evidence to show them that if they are patient and put out enough bad news, they can psych out retail traders. That's just a fact.
Yep, and they've done it for a while, right? They've done it on a lot of stocks.
Decades. For decades and decades. So, I mean, that's one thing that I talk about when AMC or GameStop is being pushed down, and people flood in my chat saying, why are they picking on our stock today? You got to pull back and look at the entire market. Everything's going down. Don't fall for that psychology that everything that happens is revolving around one stock. That is you guys getting too focused on one play. If the entire market is going down, your stock is going to go down. That is just not avoidable.
Very good, very good. Frank says NSCC 2022-003 doesn't give hedge funds more collateral to short. Stop the FUD. So that's the pawn shop rule, right? 003?
Yes. Doesn't give hedge funds more collateral to short. I don't know.
Hold on,
I don't
Tony,
know I don't know who he's talking about saying stop the FUD, because we haven't even talked about it yet tonight. I covered it in my wrap up video last night. I've done 2 or 3 videos on the SFT issue in the past year, and I think it's very fair to say that the people that are pushing a narrative on the SFT clearinghouse don't like my position. We're all friends, but I'm in complete disagreement with a lot of people covering the SFT clearinghouse. So just to get my elevator pitch out of the way real quick, when I was looking into this last year, I traced it all the way back to a panel that was looking into the root causes of the 2008 financial crisis. SFTs have been around for decades, right? But there were private transactions. There was no running it through a clearinghouse, no counterparty, and a lot of risk is added into the market by doing that. So one of the recommendations out of the 2008 financial crisis globally was to have a clearinghouse for SFTs. And Europe already put these rules in place a couple years ago, and we're just now getting around to doing it. So as we see with a lot of regulations in the SEC, this is yet another risk mitigation rule where they're trying to prevent another crisis by having out of bounds players with not showing up with the goods, right? You got party A and party B. Well, now you got the NSCC in the middle as a counterparty ensuring the transaction for both sides.
Right.
That's it. And that's it, in my opinion, in a nutshell. And it's okay if you don't agree, or Biggums or whoever else doesn't agree. I've heard it all. We're all friends. We all talk about it. And we all know that we don't agree. It's not a big deal.
Yep. Jerry says, was I hating or telling the truth? At least be factual about what I said. So Jerry said,
I was trying to look up some of his earlier comments. He said,
you want me to put it up?
No, I found an earlier one, even earlier. He said, I thought Tony Denaro started a YouTube to stop spreading lies, and now he's talking about executive orders. We haven't even talked about it yet tonight, but we have talked about it extensively for the past week. So I'm sorry that you haven't, that this is your first night ever listening to the channel, but maybe you should just hang out and ask a question before you insult people, because you're just showing your ignorance about Massalorian and myself by putting up comments like that. Just because something is in the video title or a thumbnail, if you haven't heard us talk about it, how about you ask a question instead of being a dick? Because we're happy to tell you exactly what we think. And I'm pretty sure it's not what you are thinking.
American Trader, good evening. Yeah, T. Yeah, and we have there's no beef between us and Boss Blunts, right? Boss, we've had Boss on the show. We've talked to him. He explained the whole thing. And I don't know that he's ever said to me, oh yeah, it's June 3rd or nothing. I've never heard that from him.
We've had him on because we've had our own questions, right? I've had my own questions about why June 3rd? They've had a year to plan for this. Why is June 3rd such a magical date? I'm a very skeptical, fact-based person by nature. And so I have naturally a lot of questions, and that's why we had him on to hear him out and have an opportunity to ask him questions. And even after talking to him a lot, even offline and listening to his videos from time to time on this, I'm still haven't made a video saying June 3rd is a magical date. What I will say is that if you look back in 2021, the previous executive orders lined up similarly to our squeezes, and that's kind of like factual evidence, but that's not proof of causation. So I'm remaining optimistic, but not saying that the executive orders are going to cause anything. I'd love to see one more data point, and then I'll send Marcel a boss of champagne for being correct all along. But I'm not going to make a video saying that June 3rd is a magic date, or that the EO is, because I just can't connect the dots to say that that is going to definitively be a thing. But it could be if you look at the previous. So that's as far as I'll take it. How about you, Massalorian?
I agree with you 100%. When we've talked about this privately, not to bring up our private conversations, but we've always been skeptical and just said, listen, we'll look for every avenue to disprove it. And if we can't find one, then we'll just, we understand where this is possibly leading and what's happened in the past. We'll see if it'll happen again, but we're not getting our hopes up. And I know I specifically said that last week in my video, just said, keep your expectations low like we have for everything else. And you won't be disappointed if nothing happens. Fundamentally, nothing's going to change tomorrow if the stock closes at $13. Nothing's going to change fundamentally about AMC. Jen says, what does the board selling their shares whenever there is a cycle tell you? I'm assuming he's talking about GME. Justin? I'm not sure. GME not approved for stock split. No, that was approved, right, Tony? Turtle's asking. The stock split was approved, correct?
Yes, everything was approved.
Yep. Timmy says positive. We are going to be rich. Negative, it's going to be a while. Conclusion, hodl. Excellent. I like that.
That is my main message. Like, no matter what happens tomorrow or next week, and the reason I want to be the voice of center and the voice of reason and not the voice of telling you a date ever, is because a real investor, someone who's done looked into a stock and done their due diligence, is willing to hold it until they are right. As long as things are not deteriorating, right? I've been very upfront with the folks on my channel saying if we start seeing the box office numbers going the wrong direction for AMC quarter after quarter, well, then now we have another discussion. But we're coming from the bottom, moving up, and we're doing better and better, eroding the short thesis every quarter that goes by. So
absolutely,
for me, that's the long-term game plan. How do we get back to profitability? And if some catalyst happens before then we celebrate early.
All the better. Yep. Great points. Sean98 says, why is the SEC against retail? Why no margin calls yet? So, Sean, the SEC wouldn't be the one making margin calls, right? But
nope.
As far as their enforcement, Sean, understand a couple things. Understand that the administration picks who runs these departments. And these people are handpicked, if not hand-raised, to do this type of work. Whether they be terrible or not is a different story. Was Janet Yellen bred to be an amazing Secretary of the Treasury? So far, I'd say no, but we're still early. But yeah, so SEC wouldn't be involved with the margin calls in any way, shape, or form. And as far as why they're against us, Gary Gensler is old Wall Street, right? He worked at Goldman for over 20 years. He made tens of millions of dollars with them. He is buddies with everybody on Wall Street. They all know him. And he's not going to do anything to jeopardize his status in the world, where he's going to go, his speaking fees when he retires from the SEC. All those things come into play when he's making decisions about what to effectively pursue as far as litigation or changing of rules and punishments. That's all based off his past experience and what his plans are for the future. And retail can't help him get anywhere, but Goldman can. So
yeah, if you look at the bulk of the money that is going into Wall Street, where is it coming from? Like 70% plus is coming from big institutions, right? Maybe more. So who are you ultimately going to try and please? Why does he care about pleasing the minority? He might do a little, what I call window dressing, right. A little bit of, we're going to talk about this, or we're going to put this sham regulation up to make you think he's doing something for you, but they haven't really done shit for us.
Yep.
That's why all these regulations people are talking about, like they're going to save retail with transparency and yada, yada. It's all bullshit. They're not doing shit for you. They never have been.
I know my subs and your subs know that.
Continue to be a thorn in their side and get more people with real voices talking about this stuff. Maybe we can make it painful for them, but they don't care about us.
With the whole March 3rd thing, you looking back now, remember the story was a transparency had gone into place weeks ago. Gensler implemented that into the market. There is no March 3rd. It's already in place. It's just that's when we'll have to clean the books up by, because Gensler is going to come in and save retail. I don't know what happened to that narrative. All of a sudden now, like you said earlier, we're on our own. It just that really imploded on us.
I guess that once they realized I was not actually vaporized, it was not a good thing to talk about anymore.
That you were still in solid form. Yeah, I know.
He had the nerve to come on my channel and call me vaporized for not agreeing to March 3rd. Yet, tell me one transparency regulation that's been pushed through and approved, or one significant change that's happened in our stock since March 3rd. Jack shit.
Nothing. And do you remember we were saying where that was when I called the SEC to find out if this was some kind of a ploy and they had already implemented the ruling, And this was all just, you know, like you said, window dressing. Oh yeah, sure, go comment on it. But we put it in place months ago. Funny. A bunch of people are asking about the video. That video for the SEC release was very childish and immature. SEC is not a friend of retail investors, says Brandon. Do you find, again, the timing for this extremely weird? Why are we talking about this right now? It's so strange that they came out with this PSA announcement. By the way, Stacia, thank you so much, darling.
A year later, a year after meme stocks, why are they pushing out that video now?
I don't know.
The timing was very suspect to me too.
Very suspect. I just keep thinking, why now? What is going on right now that they want to all of a sudden push this?
I think it is a fair statement to say that they don't have a way out. Their only way to suppress the price is to continue shorting, even when they don't want to. Who in their right mind would be shorting this stock at $12? But they keep on piling in. And I think, honestly, I think that they are getting a little bit nervous on these plays and several others. Yeah. If the market takes off, they are screwed.
Cost to borrow on GME is 108.2% right now, average. Holy jeez. That's crazy.
Rentax says, because they are screwed. Yes, they are screwed. They're in a no way out situation, and they keep digging the hole deeper. And I don't even think they can see above the horizon anymore. They're so far down in the hole. What way out do they have?
Which way is up?
Except for you to give up. That is the only way they win at this point. Or for these companies to have something horrible happen, like COVID-20, you know, and the entire country goes on lockdown for 2 years again. COVID-22.
Did you hear they were working on monkeypox in Wuhan?
That they were working on it what?
In Wuhan at the Virology Institute there?
No. It is very weird to me how it all of a sudden is showing up globally, but it is not really showing up in large numbers, so I'm not paying that much attention to it. And the population that it's affecting is very finite. It's very finite and definitive. It's not like everybody's breaking out with the monkeypox, you know.
Right. Yep. You got to strap it up. Boys, you got to strap it up. If you're going to those raves, any of my fair-weathered friends here, be careful. Chris Nolan comes out, more AMC videos. Is he still dogging on, Kim says, is he still dogging on AMC? That's got to be for clicks or views. Or he's short on it. I was looking at the numbers in the video I did about him the other night when I was talking about shorting.
Hey, he's very nervous right now that his short plays are not going to pan out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be panicking. Of course, I'd be making material saying,
and it's getting AMC more expensive for him to short it.
Again, yep, another good point. Yep. Mr. Simon, good evening. Mr. Cheese, good evening. Jack Wolf, good evening. Cody says GME call duration was 7 minutes and 41 seconds, the shortest ever. Maybe they're trying to tell us the split is 7. I don't know, Cody. That sounds like a stretch. Chip says they're probably going to try to hammer us tomorrow and cry. Let's see. We'll see what happens. Kareem 100 says MOASS coming, but not the 3rd. Do you think they will allow us to celebrate on the 3rd? No way. Be realistic.
Probably not.
King, good evening. Says we just need all these little things to help make it more difficult for them to short the stock. I tell you right now, these numbers to me mean a lot. The cost to borrow and utilization, these numbers going up is all good. That's good for us. Keep it coming. I mean, I don't know. Let's see how the second weekend. Let's see if Top Gun has any legs this weekend. I hope it does. Demainer says, invest what you can and relax. Exactly, brother. Exactly. Don't get in over your head and just hang on.
You know
Angelina,
what
good
is
evening.
also, you know
Go
what's
ahead.
just driving me nuts is like 1 week they'll say in the news like retail is causing the problem by not selling, and then just yesterday there was another article, retail sold everything. You know,
Yeah, yeah, I saw
they
that. Yeah,
cannot literally make up their mind about which narrative they want us to believe, but
I know.
it's like good cop, bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't
Yep.
work. Try the other. Try plan B. And they
Yeah.
keep on bouncing back and forth. Even Gasparino saying one thing 1 week and the opposite the next week.
The next week. I know. I know.
That also, you know, that whole media manipulation was one of the major reasons I eventually decided to go so big into AMC last year back in May, because I've just become so convinced that when the media is working that hard to push a narrative, that they're helping somebody out or covering something up. And we
Raise some
saw what
eyebrows.
happened. We saw what happened just a few weeks later in June, and here we are again. They're pushing the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the comments asked for a shout out to Sharon. Sharon is a shout out from the Massalorian and Tony. Thanks for guys for coming to the live stream. Eric says Tony and Mass. Have you guys noticed Mass' name is like a vowel away from MOASS? Coincidentally, Tony's stage name is MOASS. Oh, and he's handsome. Eric is deeply in love with you, Tony.
Eric loves me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Thank
some
you,
clear
Eric.
attraction. Oof.
Maggie says we're misleading people. They did not approve the split. Additional shares were approved only. Maggie, I'm sorry if I misspoke or if we misspoke. Yes, the additional shares were approved. I think we said this at the beginning of the live, but no,
Yeah, I think we did.
no definitive news about a split has been published. So we're going to have to wait for that, about the details of any split or a stock dividend. Thank you for correcting
clarifying
us
that.
if we misspoke.
Apes Blazing Does Stuff says, but YouTubers got to get paid. So let's create 17 terrible theories and create hopium and sadness on repeat. I think that's, you know, I think that's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to do that when you're putting out 5 to 10 videos a day. You're repeatedly going live every day and putting up a video. You run out of shit quick to think about and talk about. Again, as always, if there's nothing to talk about, I'm not going to go on and make a video. I mean, we haven't been on since Sunday night. I know Tony's been live, but you know, what
I think
there's
only 2 people at this point putting out 17 videos a day.
That's true.
Only one of them is getting paid.
That's
the
true.
other one's filming his dinners and bathroom breaks.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But I
he's
mean,
not getting paid.
No, he's not. No, unfortunately, he's not getting paid. But you know, a lot of us aren't, anyways. A lot of us aren't making any money right now, at all. Let's see. I had another one here, Tony, for you. Hold on. Oh, the American Trader. Hey, opinionated assholes. Good evening, brother. The American Trader says the SEC has no money to buy coffee, but enough to make videos. I know they have the budget. Isn't that crazy?
We were talking about that this morning, and someone asked me, what do I think that, or maybe it was last night. Someone asked me, what do I think that commercial costs them? And I gave an answer, and I'm curious to hear what you think.
How much that commercial could cost to produce?
When you look at the set, the actors, the production value.
How long was it?
30 seconds.
Easily a couple mil.
Easily. Mil. Yeah, I said I think I said $500,000 to $1 million, but I felt like $1 million was a little bit on the high side. But
I mean, with inflation and everything going on right now,
I'm not counting any advertising costs. I'm just talking about production costs.
Just straight. Okay. You're saying
lighting,
for
crew set lighting, actors.
Okay, just to get on the set. Yeah, maybe $500,000. That sounds about right. Yeah, but you got to you think about everything goes into it, right? You get all the pre-production, then you got post. But if you're saying just the actual recording of the thing itself, yeah, it probably took him a couple of days to record that little 30-second spot. But again, you're not putting into all the research and stuff that's going into it, and then afterwards you're going to have costs too, right? To get it up on the screen, because it was a
fairly intricate set design too.
Yeah, Yeah, they didn't go cheap by any
No.
means. Yeah, no, that was well done. That was a professional crew that they brought in there.
Yeah, that stuff does not come cheap.
No.
Where's Lowboy to talk to us about film?
I don't know. Let's see. Mike says
Video sponsored by hedge funds. This did not cost the taxpayers anything. This was payrolled by BlackRock. That'd be funny if they came out and apologized and said, "We know you're pissed, but we did not waste taxpayer money on that."
Money on that, just so you know. Let's see. I saw Susan's in the chat. Good evening, Susan. LA, Jeff. I Revolt's in the chat. Good evening. Weekend Warrior, I saw. Who else we got in here? I said Susan. Lorne, good evening. Liquid Swords, Irishman, Diamond Dave. SU Ray, good evening. I said hey to Lupe. Mike Millspaw, good evening. Says Elon Musk dubbed the SEC the short seller enrichment commission. That's awesome. Did you really say that? That's great. Let's see. I think this is pushing out.
Says, set production is expensive. I used to work with Hollywood set builders, all making $54 per hour. Yeah, most of those guys are unionized, depending on where they actually did production. I've done a little bit of work in the industry. You can check out my OnlyFans, but I didn't know how much the set builders actually made.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm waiting for stuff. Wait, what? OnlyFans? What are you talking about?
Is that what you said just now? OnlyFans?
Yeah. I said I've done a little bit of work in the industry, so I have a little bit of an idea how much this stuff cost, but we weren't big into set production.
Got it.
For more on that, check my OnlyFans.
Got it. Let's see. Dr. Zeno says the shares for loaning keep magically appearing because of rehypothecation. You think there's any truth behind that?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about the other night. Absolutely.
Dr. Zeno was paying attention. Yeah, that was that got a lot of good feedback, that video. I think got broken down well as far as what actually they're not IOUs or I gotchas or anything like that, right? There's a certain way that these they're able to hide these things. Let's see.
Looper 31, shout out. Thank you, friend. The rehypothecated shares are kind of a form. I mean, you could call them an IOU. Like if your broker borrows 1,000 shares from my broker and they were my shares and he tells you, you got them. Well, all I got left really is an IOU. But that's kind of I don't think that's how that word was being used, right?
No, that's not the context it was being used in. Yes, no.
Someone was trying to say they're just telling you they bought shares and didn't really do anything. They just wrote it down in their checkbook that they took your money and took no action. That is not true. That's not true.
Right. That's it. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Jody says 461 in the chat and hang on, DeMariner. 461 in the chat and 111 likes. Is that true? And 11 likes? Oof, that's rough.
I think a lot of times YouTube doesn't update the likes once you're watching a stream. It'll just sit there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe refresh your screen and see if it changes. I don't ever look at that when I'm on, but sometimes when I'm watching other folks, I notice that the number never changes.
Yep. AMC GME says, can they do the rehypothecation forever? No, because eventually they got to close those positions. I mean, how long are those going to be? Oh, Kathy says 516 and 213. Okay, everyone's got different numbers here. Holdback 718 says, boss's tweet today about Treasury FU about executive order for CMICs seems, I think, CMICs can be held after 6/3. So those are Chinese military, not industrial complexes, but I don't know what IC stands for, actually.
I'm pulling up his tweet because I didn't see that one.
But can't be bought or sold.
CMICs can be held after 6.3, but can't be bought or sold after 6.3.
And he's asking T, in this, can they still be counted as collateral? No. Hold back.
Yeah, I'm going by what Pantheon said. He said that they cannot use them as collateral if they're holding them, and that if a ETF is holding it, that whole ETF cannot be used. I have not looked that up myself. I'm just going by what people I trust have said. Like I said, for me, executive order is not enough of a potential catalyst to spend my time digging into it, especially since Marcel is doing such a fine job covering the details. Why would I want to duplicate his work? So I would go by what he said as far as the specifics on what and when. I had a lot of questions today, though, in the live stream, and the reason I wanted to talk about it tonight is people were asking, does this executive order kick off? Does it start on the June 3rd? And that is just one thing I wanted to clarify. June 3rd is the last date by which they are able to sell. They're supposed to be out of these positions by June 3rd. So they've had a year to get out of these companies that they're not allowed to hold. So hopefully that, if you didn't know that, hopefully that makes sense. The question in my mind is, have they been getting out for the last year? Were they waiting just for this last quarter? Were they waiting for tomorrow? What was the time period they were getting out?
Sorry, T.
And we saw,
Liz claiming.
We saw from a lot of funds like Vanguard and Fidelity notices to shareholders that they fully intended to comply with the executive order and liquidate those positions. That doesn't mean they're liquidating the fund, right? They just got to make some changes. This company is no longer allowed in this fund, and we're going to replace it with a different one, or not replace it.
Number one, we have to collectively believe, says Jeff Argo, it's about to happen. Rest in peace, Marion, the Barbarian Barber. He died, passed away, Anthony. Rest in peace, Marion Barber. It's Dallas Cowboy, I believe. He used to be. Remember him, T? Running back?
Yep, I remember the name.
Let's see. LA says, Pantheon said that it would be hard for them to sell them since they have billions of dollars in them. Yeah, didn't Metzler talk about how big their positions were, possibly? Did he get into?
I sent Pantheon an article after that, and I haven't heard back from him talking about that exact question a year ago. They had no problem selling last year, but because there are people in China willing to buy those, and they're getting them at a discount. So they said in this article, I think it was a Reuters that I sent to Pantheon, there were plenty of willing buyers happy to buy those stocks at a discount, because when you're selling a lot of these equities, the price is going to go down. And a Chinese company or other Asian hedge funds will gladly pick those up. Just because of a U.S. order to get rid of them doesn't make them toxic. Just means that someone else gets to pick them up cheaper, and the U.S. companies that were holding them were going to lose more than they were expecting trying to dump these things. So I don't agree that they'll have problems selling them. Just not going to get what they wanted for them. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. Don't hate. There's always a market for everything. At what price is the only question.
Is the question. Matt Blair Comedy says, Al from Boston hypothesized 3 upcoming pseudo squeezes. I'm not buying it. Once they lose control, they can't keep controlling it. Thoughts? So I would say that sounds like someone that's trying to drag something out. 3 upcoming pseudo squeezes? How the hell does he know that? That sounds like a bunch of nonsense to me, to be honest.
He probably got a tip when he was doing his interview with all the hedge funds.
That might be what it is. Before you walk out the door, let me just let you know. Bring this back to retail.
Jersey Recycler says, do you guys trade anything other than meme stocks? I strongly recommend not YOLOing into any one play, having a diverse portfolio of solid stocks that are posting consecutive quarterly profits and the chart going from the bottom left to the top right. Meme stocks and gambling plays should ideally, in my world, you can do whatever you want in your world, be a small percentage of your overall trading. Now, if you go 100% into a meme stock and you are correct, then obviously you're going to far exceed my gains for the year in terms of percentage. But I'm very much learned in my 20s not to go full risk on. So I have a broad portfolio, and that's what I preach. Diversification, solid plays, and if you want to gamble, make that a small percentage of what you do. I've watched other YouTubers lose $1 million on YOLO plays. Not joking.
Yep. We know who, and some of you know who he's talking about. So,
and last month he lost 50,000 YOLOing on Mullen.
And people will try to get us to have him come on the live stream to talk about Mullen options. Remember? Oh, yeah. You got to bring him on.
That was all the money he had and his family's money. I mean, this was not. He's not a millionaire, and 50,000 was nothing to him. That was literally all he had. Yeah. Now he went back to his family for some more money and bought some more options on Mullen.
Yep. I believe Stacia was saying that she thinks that she's hearing there's a 60-day grace period on the EO. I didn't see that in the writing. I didn't read that in the document. But I can pull it up and do a search for the word. Give me 1 second. Net Devil says, have you guys ever thought about doing a 3-person live stream and bringing Common Sense Investor? We've had CSI on here many times, Net Devil. He's been on a bunch of times. Maggie, thank you so much. Yeah.
Love you, Maggie. That? Maggie's one of my channel members. Maggie, appreciate so much. She's one of the first who has stuck with me for the last year. So thank you very much, Maggie. Counselor Murray says, if we don't squeeze at 4:01 a.m., I'm going to call the WhatsApp guy in the comments to manage my portfolio. I probably waste an hour a day deleting all those freaking bots in the comments. It pisses me off. Net Devil says, what is the probability of hitting $1,000 tomorrow? I'm not betting money on it. I have call options, Net Devil, for July and September. Someone was asking me about that tomorrow. Someone was asking me about that earlier today. What's going to happen tomorrow, Tony? I said, well, if it was my money, I would not be buying call options expiring tomorrow. But if you want to know what I did, I gave myself several months for something to happen. Even if it was only a run back up to 34, I'll make bank on those call options.
You can crush it.
If it's a really nice short squeeze, well, I'll make thousands of %, but we'll just call it when it happens.
Yes, absolutely. JPZ says, I expect a bloodbath tomorrow. Let's see. Nat Devil said, what is the prop? Oh, you got that. Okay. What was the other thing I was going to ask you? Someone asked a question here I thought was interesting. It might be epic. Just another day. Oh, Bigham said he's going live tonight. LA says. Jack says tomorrow will be a Friday. Bigham's is going live, I guess. Later.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Says he's going live tonight. Okay. Let me keep going here.
Jack says Maggie worries about Tony. Yeah. Maggie is the voice on my shoulder. The good angel. Tony, you need to drink more water. You need to drink more water, Tony.
She keeps you hydrated.
Yes.
Let's see. Susan says, man, this thing is slow tonight.
They know.
They've done more threesomes than I can count. We have had a lot of threesomes on here. That is true, Susan. What were you gonna say, T? Sorry.
I was saying I see the guys in my comments. They know Maggie. Hope for a Generation says Maggie says drink your water. Yeah,
Yes,
there's no
hydrated.
point in sticking around for a short squeeze, guys, if you're not taking care of your health and properly hydrating. I mean, what kind of fun would that be to hit the short squeeze and then you die of a coronary
Or thirst.
or thirst, right? Or lack of hydration. Your electrolytes get all off.
Don't want that. Broke Ape says, Mass and Tony, what happens when we run and the institutions dump at a low price? We're going to see the price come down, right? Can't panic. We're going to see some fluctuation, no doubt.
Oh, that's a good question. What happens when the stock squeezes up and he's worried about people like BlackRock and Vanguard dumping as the price is running up, right?
That's going to hurt them.
I did a post about that about a week ago. And I can say, honestly, I don't know what BlackRock's going to do, right? They are the wild card for me, and they hold about 45 million shares. But Vanguard has most of their shares locked up in index funds.
Okay.
So that's another 40 to 45 million. But I don't think that you'll see massive selling from Vanguard because they're all in index funds.
Okay. So you're saying they have about 90 million shares combined between the two of them, those two institutions?
Yeah.
So they got a fifth of the float, almost. Right? Almost a fifth of the float, close. Like
yeah, I mean, it's a good question,
18%.
and it's something it pisses me off to see institutions getting a bigger slice of this pie. We used to own, really 90%, and that's all slipped as we went up in market cap. More and more institutions started buying it, and we got put in more indexes, and now retail has lost a little bit of that control. So it is something to worry about. And the reason you should worry is don't hold for unrealistic prices because you don't know what those guys are going to do.
And I think as we discussed it the other night when we talked about that the rehypothecation of shares and how many synthetics possibly are out there, keep that in mind, guys, when you are picking out your, so-called brackets or where you want to unload shares. Make sure you're leaving yourself plenty of room for fluctuations in the price. That's all. Right. Big B says, I bought call options for January 20th, 2023 with $100 strike. Hold on. Sorry. Here it is. January 20th, 2023 with $100 strike. So that's pretty similar. Last year, didn't we have January 2022 call options that were at 140? Remember, T? Do you remember when that high?
When January rolled around and everyone is making a big deal about all those sitting out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it being a lot of them sitting out there and then nothing happened.
Yeah.
But I think, you got 6 months now for something to happen.
Right. You left yourself enough time, Big B. So that's the way to do it if you're going to do it. Paper Tiger, good evening. He says, I haven't even looked at the other stock lately. Bought some meme stocks and just going to try to turn my head now. No GT required. Yeah, Paper Tiger. That's kind of how I think a lot of people have started to approach it lately, right? Can't be I think the constant hampering on the stock can physically and emotionally drive you to madness if you're not careful. Really got to give yourself a break every now and then because it can drive you crazy. Everyone's got a different story. LA says phase 6 happens on September 1st. That can be a good day to watch. I hope we're out by then, LA, though. I really hope we're out by the summer. If not, so be it. But I'd like to be out by the end of the summer, God knows.
Paper Tiger reminds me of a retweet I did from Short the VIX. I don't know if you heard this news article that Tiger Global Hedge Fund has now lost 52% for the year. Have you heard that?
No. Hwang? Is that Hwang's company?
Let me pull up this article. But he said, Short the VIX said, maybe Tiger Global Hedge Fund should have done some more research, playing off of the SEC video.
Right. Interesting. Should we discuss the? Do you want to discuss the SEC tweet for a second? I don't know, Yucca, if that's where you're going with this, but you say institutions should only be able to sell in the dark pools. That would be pretty cool, right? If retail was just able to trade on the on the. It'd be cool if we didn't have all that dark pool trading going on at all. If it was just completely eliminated. Be nice if we could just run it.
Tiger Global Management is founded by a man named Chase Coleman.
Okay, they're American, U.S.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like it.
Okay.
The fund lost 20% in May. 20% in May, bringing its losses for the year. Now it says the losses for the year to 61%, but in the paragraph before it said 52%. So I don't know. At any rate, it's massive.
Would if someone like Tiger folded, would that fit into Kevin O'Leary's narrative of someone taking a huge loss?
They manage $75 billion across public and private equity funds.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot. Someone's going to fold. I have no doubt, especially if the market keeps going down.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have you heard anything about the updates in Ukraine? What's going on?
No.
Okay. That almost sounds like I don't want you to talk about it so it'll get demonetized.
I saw one more headline about, we talked about this the other day, and you filled in, you colored in the gray spots for me about the U.S. sending weapons over there. I saw yet another headline last night or this morning
700
about weapons. Maybe one of us can pull that up.
Yeah, I got it right here. Putin, let's see. Yeah, I got it right here. What's inside Biden's $700 million military aid package? That's the one. Want to pull up?
Yes, that was it. Was it from in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, from yesterday. Yep. It's probably the same one. I actually have it open on the thing, so I'm just going to pull it. I have it. It's on my screen right now. Hang on. So let me just do a share screen tab. Yeah, I was reading it a little while right before we sat down. Biden.
I'm sure Chase Coleman will find a way to blame us for all those poor teachers losing their 60% of their
pension.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it up on the screen. We good?
Yep.
Okay, so let me just make it full. Why can't I? Why won't it fill out here? There we go. Okay. All right, let's see. So this article is from yesterday. New round of U.S. military aid, 700 million. No baby formula. U.S. sending 1,000 javelins and rocket launching systems called HIMARS, the Pentagon said. So here's a rocket you were talking about the other night, T. The White House has sent about $4.6 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since Russia invaded in February. Let's see. Here's the list of what they are getting. Let's blow this up. Says, mobile artillery rocket. This is rocket systems, counter artillery radars, surveillance radars, 1,000 javelins, 6,000 anti-armor weapons, 15,000 rounds of. This is crazy. And they're losing. They're getting crushed. They have given up every substantial town in the east of Ukraine. This is a big waste of money right now, sending it to these people. All it is doing is getting more people killed. I don't understand.
It's not a big waste of money for Raytheon.
No, they're doing great. GE, Raytheon, those guys are just crushing it. The numbers are great. But it's just amazing. They're still sending this money over. And you have the president coming out, the president of Ukraine coming out and saying, we're losing. There's whole battalions that are quitting because any support or commanders, they've listed off a whole bunch of things. But that eastern region of Ukraine, there's a lot of talk, and I haven't done the video yet. But that guy Gonzalo Lira, who is the reporter who was on the ground there in the Donbass, the independent journalist, has said that he sees a possibility of the Ukrainian military throwing a coup against Zelensky to go to peace talks, because Zelensky has been ordered by Washington not to stop the efforts, right? And Zelensky is following the narrative. But if there's no food, there's no medical supplies, there's none of these things, the commanders ultimately want to save their soldiers. They're not going to put them out there as cannon fodder with no backup, no long range artillery, no cover fire, no nothing. So that's the assumption right now, and the narrative from the media is Ukraine is winning, right? That's why we need to keep arming them, because we're keeping the fight up. But in reality, this war is almost over. I mean, literally, it's almost over. They basically have every objective that they wanted.
Do you think there'll be a peace treaty where Ukraine yields some of those eastern cities?
Without a doubt, those are Putin's.
Provinces?
Those are gone forever. Donbass is gone. Mariupol is gone. They will be landlocked forever now until the Russian Empire falls. They're never getting that territory back. Never. Absolutely not. Those people,
not without NATO, not without more NATO support.
Intervention. And NATO's not going to step in, right? They're hurting right now. Look at Europe. They're getting crushed. The economies. I mean, a year ago, Germany was laughing, or what was it, 2 years ago, was laughing at the aspect that they might not have enough fuel and they should stop relying so heavily on Russia. And what's going on now? Because they went the green way 10 years ago and they got cut off the pipeline from Russia. Right now, Germany is screwed. Their inflation is horrendous and their gas prices are out of control.
Getting back to AMC for a second before this comment goes off the screen, says Eric asks, why did I buy call options for July and September? Because I've historically only bought them a couple times in the last year when AMC dips to all-time lows. And you can look and see those ebb and flows in the chart. And I think it is reasonable to assume that there'll be some other run-up in this stock, for either due to a catalyst or some shorts covering, unless the market just gets routed. Yeah. I think it's a reasonable bet. And I didn't spend $50,000 on call options. It's just a sweetener, right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if you think about it realistically, what are the chances again that any type of news could possibly bring us right back again to that $35 area? We've already been there. How many? Multiple times now we've touched up in that area. So the chances of that happening again, like Tony's saying, you're not losing a ton of money. You know it's not going the other way. We're not going bankrupt anytime soon. So as long as we can prove those two things, it's not a huge risky position. And Tony's leaving himself enough time to not, get himself in a corner, right?
I bought some in mid-March with June. I think they were June strikes. And then a week or two later, we had that run up to $34 and I sold them and made 500% in a matter of days. Like, that's just a sweetener, guys. It either takes some of the pain off of holding your shares, or if you're not in pain, then it gives you money to buy additional shares or pay some bills, get in some other plays, whatever you want to do. So I don't regularly buy options on AMC. I don't sell them at all, but when it reaches all-time lows and I see people depressed and getting out of the play and thinking that it's over, that's when I go buy call options.
Got it. There you go. There's your answer. Jersey Recycler says trade tomorrow will be dictated by the employment report. The unemployment report's tomorrow, or the actual, the employment.
The May numbers for all different government, non-farm, et cetera, all come out tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not, this isn't retail numbers. This is the government.
It's everything, every sector.
Okay. It is. All right. So yeah, Jersey Recycler, that will probably, that might dictate some price action tomorrow. Absolutely. 100%. If those numbers come back terribly bad, yeah, that could definitely not be good for the market right now, especially with how iffy it is.
Let's talk about that for a second. What do you think? What do you think we'd want to see from employment, considering that we're in an inflationary and wage inflationary period? What would actually be better? Lack of job growth or impressive job growth exceeding analyst expectations?
So here's the thing with that, right? I mean, the way they're talking right now, they are saying that They're not going to have as much money to hire people. So you might see an immediate drop or a drop in the unemployment right now, right? In the near future. But they're trying to say that if you can look past that, there'll be mass hirings after that we get through that little turbulent period right there. So that's what I heard today. Them saying, as far as that goes, what's your take?
Unemployment is one thing that is bad news, but also when too many jobs are created and not enough people are applying for them, then that's when you get this inflationary wage issue, which just drives up prices and inflation even more. So it's a fine balancing act to figure out what Wall Street's looking for in any given month.
Yeah, trying to figure out which way we're going. Yeah. Let's see. PD Harris says, Kentucky here, AMC to the moon. PD Harris, good evening. Kentucky in the house. Susan says we're in stagflation. Yes, see, we could get that T, right? We could have that. That could be a cause for stagflation, correct? Too many jobs, not enough people applying.
Yep.
Let's see. Eric says, Tony and Mass, why have all these companies that have been earnings going up? Hang on. Freezing up here on my screen. Sorry, guys. Oh, I'm completely frozen.
Not Money Advice says he buys in the money call options on AMC and GameStop. Dr. Metzler and Google say you need buying and execution of call options to have a MOASS. I would agree that having a fully loaded options chain definitely adds fuel to the fire to send that thing up. But it is irrelevant. Having a fully loaded options chain is irrelevant if no one's buying the stock.
Yeah.
You got to have both, right?
Yes. What was
We've seen that.
Do you know what volume was today, T? By any chance?
Have I what today?
What volume was?
It was 45 mil.
Oh yeah. That's not enough to push the
We
stock.
had increasing volume except for today and Wednesday. It was decreasing. So not a bullish way to go into Friday. Two down candles and 2 lower volume days. Not the most bullish technical setup going into tomorrow. But you never know. This is why I don't do TA on this play. You never know with a heavily shorted, manipulated stock, what is going to get them in trouble and kick off some buying power, just like last Friday, right? Massalorian last Friday, unexpected. None of us were expecting a run up last Friday.
No. I got you now. Yeah, no, I predicted that we were going to have a sell off. No, so don't listen to me, whatever you do. Yeah, I lost you, T, for a second. I had to reload my page.
No worries. Richard,
Sorry,
thank
guys.
you. Richard signing out for the night.
Richard, have a good evening. Have a good evening. Ryan says, I exercised a 50 call this past week. If they control the price, says Maggie, options seem foolish. See, that was always my take on it, T. I said that. I used to say that back in the day. What Maggie's saying, if they control the price, then options seems foolish. But I guess it all depends, right? On what you know, when are you buying the option for? What strikes are you trying to hit? You know, it just depends, right? I see what Maggie's saying.
Yeah, they can only control the price for so long, though. I mean, but clearly they've been using the downward momentum in the economy to control it in the direction they want, which is down. Every now and then someone slips up or gets in trouble and you see a day of covering and it goes up one day in March to 34, one day last week to 16. You know, they can't always control it. And that's what I'm counting on when I buy the options.
Right.
I want to go in and get them as cheap as possible.
Yep.
Net Devil.
You got it.
Once we hit the MOASS, should we look at shorting our stocks to maximize our profits? kind of new to shorting. I don't want to do something stupid.
Good question.
Oh man. If you're not new, if you're not an experienced shorter, I would never recommend shorting anything, because your losses are unlimited. And if you short at the wrong time and the stock still keeps going up, you're going to get a margin call. And what if it goes up or stays up for a couple days? That is a world of hurt that you don't want to be in. So I can't in good faith recommend that to someone who's not familiar with shorting. In fact, I don't even know if I'll be looking at put options as it's running up, but I can also almost guarantee you that the IV on put options is going to be through the roof. Yep. And it's going to be really difficult to make any meaningful money, and those put options are going to be expensive as hell. So
you would think, yeah, you would think, yep. Yeah, thank you, Nat. Gary says thoughts on next week. I don't think we've gotten that quite that far yet, Gary. Do you have any thoughts on next week already, or do you want to see what happens tomorrow, T, first?
I often use the phrase on my live streams, we're in a bipolar stock market.
Yes.
One day up, one day down. No news really changed, right? Nothing's changed. Ukraine, Russia, China, inflation, interest rates. The only thing that I see that is ping-ponging it is earnings that come out on a daily basis. That really is what I think is driving each day. One day retail has some retail companies have better than expected earnings and the stock market goes up 2%. And the next day a retailer has a miss and lowered guidance because of supply chain, and the whole stock market crashes. One tech company does great and another one is losing subscribers, or they can't pay for their warehouses like Amazon. It's the companies, I think, that are driving day-to-day stuff more than anything else. So I cannot predict it, and that's why I'm not playing index plays right now. If I was playing SPYs, puts or calls, I would not be holding them more than a day. Bipolar.
Not Money Advice says, we need a TA guy, Rico, on the show for some hopium for tomorrow. Me got calls. No Money Advice. I don't know when you bought those, but I hope you're in a nice position right now. I don't know. I hope you don't need Rico.
I can do a quick Rico. Just look at your chart and then add a line like this at the end.
It never ends.
And there you go. Tomorrow. And if it's not tomorrow, I was just early.
I haven't looked recently. Is that still the cliche for the end of every video? It's just that line going up.
I like Rico. He's entertaining, but I don't have time to watch other channels. But every time I have gone in, he always has that drawn in line at the end. Tomorrow.
Cassius says, if you're new to options, please don't play them. Liz says, options are like playing cards with your cards backwards. They can see your hand. William says, they are conditioning people not to buy options so they can eventually cover. You ever thought about that possibility?
I was talking about that out loud. I don't know if it was with you on a live stream or in one of my live streams by myself, that what if this whole push to not buy options in May, the idea from some YouTubers in May was, let's not buy options.
I remember.
To not give them liquidity, which I understand. But what if the genesis of that idea was put in their ear by somebody who wanted a clean options chain so they could not have to worry about gamma?
That would be your solution.
It wouldn't take much to put that idea in a few people's ears.
Yep.
And try and get it to catch fire.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I honestly agree with the people that are saying, like Marcel, that a massively filled options chain is what will light this thing on fire. But at the same time, god damn, options have been losing money plays 90% of the time for the last year. So I can't in good conscience yell at the mic every day, go buy options. I just can't. I couldn't sleep watching people lose money like that.
No, it would be awful. I don't even know how I would be able to handle that. I couldn't. It'd be awful.
It's the right idea, but I mean, we don't have unlimited money for everybody just to buy options until the day they let it squeeze, and then we bend them over. We just
Right.
I'm hoping for a little bit of luck.
Right. And this market, guys, is just a horrible market to try to make judgment calls like that. Martin asks, where do you see AMC 10 years from now? And Martin, I think that totally depends on
Good night, Maggie.
Good night, Maggie. Totally depends. There's a lot of things that depends on, but I think ultimately that falls on the head of Hollywood. Because if you look at every movie that's grossed over $100 million, they all have something in common. They are either good stories, good characters, and I mean, just look at the last 5 movies that did over 100 million. I can't think off the top of my head, but I know Doctor Strange. Last 5 weekends that did over 100 million was Top Gun, Doctor Strange, Batman, Spider-Man, and I'm forgetting one. But we've had 5 $100 million opening weekends in the last 6 months. So
that has been my big complaint. That's been my big complaint with Hollywood is not a lot of fresh ideas, too many bad projects getting greenlighted, and some awful reboots. Ghostbusters
Terrible.
comes to mind.
Yeah, right off the bat. That's a good one. Ghostbusters is a good example. Very good example.
Where are all the good creative writers, and why aren't these projects getting greenlighted? I don't know. Maybe they're just scared to spend money in Hollywood right now.
I don't know. I don't know where all the money went for.
Time to shake it up.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Let's see.
Let instead of trying to get someone on the board of AMC, let's try and get a couple people, some apes on the board of Paramount and some of these other companies.
I know. I'm still trying to get Disney to sell Star Wars IP. Gary says KC is on vacation. KC is on vacation. You will be live, Tony, in the morning tomorrow. Yes,
I will. Yep.
Okay. Pam, good evening. I see Pam's in the chat. How you doing tonight, Pam? Tony, at least it's not disassociated stocks, says Angelina. Bipolar market is exactly what we have, Tony, driven by headlines. Exactly, Jersey Recycler. Yes, sir.
I think Lion Trader, weren't they saying the other night, Lion Trader is going on vacation too. KC and Lion Trader both going on vacation is another very bullish catalyst. It's my biggest fear. If I went on vacation too, you can be certain the squeeze would happen. Did I tell you that story? The last squeeze happened when I was not in front of my PC. I was at
June?
I was at my youngest son's high school graduation.
No, I didn't know that. No, that was like midweek, right? Like Tuesday or Wednesday, right? When we had that big jump.
It was like a 4-hour ordeal all morning. So by the time I got back in front of the computer, it was after lunch.
Holy smokes!
I was panicking. Alerts going off on my phone.
Oh, I can imagine. You kept getting. What did you have? Did you have stop losses set, or what did you have? What were you getting alerts about?
I just had alerts set. No, I don't do stop losses, or I didn't have any preset orders, but I had a shit ton of options besides my share positions. So the first thing I did when I sat down here was start selling those.
Okay.
My belief is sell your options first, because if you don't time the top right, you always can hold your shares. But those options, if you don't time the top, are going to be worthless again real quick and expire.
Yes.
So the first thing that I'm going to be concentrating on is getting out of my options positions, if I have any. And I had a bunch back in June 2021.
Did you? With July strike dates? Well, when we for July with July dates, or
I started buying them in May, and every day that I saw AMC going up and it looking more and more bullish, I was just adding to it.
Nice.
I had strikes all the way up the chain.
Really?
I don't know how much I made, $50,000, $60,000 that week.
Did you really?
from options by themselves.
Unbelievable. Beverly says, where does all the money go? By the way, guys, if you get a chance to hit the like button, please
Have a great
remember.
trip.
Where's that? Who said that?
Justin's wanting me to go on a trip. Have a great trip, Tony.
Oh, yeah. If you're the catalyst going on a trip, yeah. Get out of here. Well, Beverly says, where does all the money go from our government to Hollywood and everything in between to Excel? I don't know. I can't believe they're sending more missiles to Russia, though. And we're still having the issue with baby formula. It's just like priorities, people. Hello. Why are we importing formula from other countries? That's insane. But we're exporting 10,000 Javelin missiles. Nate says, I'm going to Italy for 2 weeks at the end of June. I hope these apps work on my phone overseas if we get some action. Yeah, Nate, I would check with your hotel and see if they have a landline hooked up to a computer so you could possibly log in or even bring a laptop with you. Try to get on the internet. I don't know if I trust my phone.
Make sure you pre-talk with your carrier and get on an international plan for those 2 weeks.
That as well.
I've gone on trips and not thought about that and come back with a $500 internet bill from my phone for 1 week. Just
really
ridiculous. Yes.
Oof.
But they'll pre-sell you an international plan that you can activate for a week or 30 days
with unlimited calling.
Much more reasonable.
And that gives you access to internet as well.
It gives you access to the internet without paying international roaming fees. That is what will kill you.
Okay. All right.
If you got a Wi-Fi in your hotel, you don't need to worry about it. But I was driving around using Google Maps in Dominican Republic or wherever the fuck I was. And yeah, by the time I came back, by the time I was landing in the airport in Miami, they had turned off my phone.
Oh, really?
Of how high my bill was.
No way. They shut you off?
$1,000 or something stupid.
Wow.
For a few days.
Smokes. Brendan and Ella, thank you. Good.
We turned off your service to protect you from, runaway. I was like, well, I appreciate that, but now let's talk about how we fix this. They worked something out for me.
They waited till you ran up to 1,000, huh? They didn't stop you at 500.
They waived most of the fees, but in hindsight, call your carrier before you go and have that discussion.
For sure. Brendan Ellis says, thanks, Mass. My GME call of 117 strike opening bell sold at 80% gain. Also, thanks to Tony for the streams. Brendan Ellis, thank you for keeping the lights on. That's awesome. Great. That's amazing. That's the way to do it, right? Get out when you got that 80%. Take it and run. Steven says, been in for over a year now. Apparently, there was another shooting in Iowa. I haven't looked that up yet. Been in for a year now, never played options. Who is giving them the money to keep shorting us? The options players providing liquidity. Mr. Smith, good evening.
You want to talk about that for a second, Mass?
Sure.
Who's giving them money to short?
Well, apparently it's retail. Well, that's the rumor, right? We're giving them the money through the options to continue to do this.
But let's walk through the mechanics of a short sale real quick.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have ever shorted, but when you short, you don't really need money. You need some collateral.
Oh, yeah.
But right, when you short, you're selling. So it's an immediate deposit into your account. This is, I hear Lou talking about this sometimes and getting it wrong, or other people like it costs them a lot of money to short. No, it actually doesn't. They're making money the second they short. What they also have though is an obligation to pay that money back, right? So it doesn't cost them to short. That's a fallacy. But they got an obligation to pay back, and they're just hoping that they can pay it back at a cheaper price and then keep the difference.
Yep. That's all they trying to do.
All they need is collateral to short. Just like when your broker tells you if you're going to short GME, it's 100% margin requirement. You got to have 100% backup in cash or other collateral. So whatever their broker is telling them they need for collateral, that's all they need, and then they get to sell it and bank the proceeds.
Yep. Jeffrey says, I just went across the border to Mexico, and there was a delay on Fidelity app in Webull. So take that into consideration, what Jeff is saying right there. Nat Devil, thank you very much. Mr. Massalorian, CSI had a really good idea of trying to convince AMC to install Tesla charging stations in their parking lots so you could charge your car while eating popcorn. Spider-Man, think that would entice new retail investors. Yeah, yeah, that would be great. They definitely
I agree too. Any location that any charging company could install chargers where people are going to be dwelling for
a couple hours.
1, 2, 3 hours.
Yeah.
The one that I was scratching my head at was ChargePoint or EVgo. I think it was EVgo partnering with banks to install charging stations in bank parking lots. How long are you average in a bank, Massalorian? For me, it's like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe if that. Yep.
It makes zero sense. A bank, but
yeah, not
Walmart, Costco, movie theaters, shopping malls, all great ideas.
Restaurants. Yep. Absolutely. Nat Devil, thanks for keeping the lights on. Yeah, I think that's a great take. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the movie theaters, right? Especially with the theaters. That's like a huge place. You get a huge ton of volume. It's just a matter of how many EVs are out there. I mean, I'm trying to think right now. So we have a public parking lot here that has 3 EV charging stations out of maybe 250 parking spots. So it's very sparse right now for charging stations. How is it in Texas? I don't know.
It's about the same. You can go to any parking lot and there's 3 spots for electric chargers, which is why I've said before on my channel, I'm more bullish about charging station companies than I am about EV companies. Pick any of the 50 EV companies out there. I'd be buying charging station stock over any of these players in the car manufacturing business, which are half of them not going to be here in 3 years because they're all going to go bankrupt. But as more and more states and the federal government push people to move into electric vehicles by artificially making oil prices high,
just buy an electric car.
Eventually we'll need a lot more charging stations, don't you think? I mean, not everybody's going to have the ability to plug in at home, or they'll forget. We're going to need more than 3 per 200. So yes. If you can think ahead 10 years and just put some money into charging station companies and not look at it for 10 years, I think these could be some really good times to be buying these companies like ChargePoint or EVgo.
And just for total transparency, I have a ChargePoint position. I don't know, Tony, if you do, but for transparency, I hold a position in it, so take that into consideration. Peter says, go ahead.
No, go ahead and ask your question. I was going to ask you if I can put up a picture, though, a little quiz for the chat.
Sure. Peter says, hey, Mass and Tony, I'm a little late as I just got off of work. What is your take on tomorrow, the EO going to effect? So, Peter, I know we did touch on it a couple times before you got in here. And basically, we just came to the understanding that, okay, so tomorrow, as we know right now, they more than likely still have some of these positions that they have not closed in the last year. And we also saw that there was possibly a grace period. So a lot of factors you got to take into place. I know me and Tony have not been necessarily pumping up the exact date of June 3rd or the executive order. They're not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we just we've had a different take on it as far as do we think anything's going to happen this week necessarily? And we didn't say yes or no. We just said we didn't know. For an example, last Thursday, I told everyone in the chat that we were going to probably see a red day on Friday, and we went up 10%. So it's so hard to try to make these type of guesses in this market because it's so volatile. Tony, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, tomorrow we're going to be looking at Max Payne, $13. We're going to see what the jobs report is. I don't have on my screen, or maybe I do, who has earnings tomorrow. That's what I'm going to be looking at, jobs report and earnings. Every day, that's the only thing I'm looking at to decide what the market is going to do that day. And this morning, we had good news out of OPEC. That was what I think made the markets turn around today. that Saudi Arabia and some of these other countries are going to be increasing production. So
I saw that. It took them long enough. The administration has been asking Saudi Arabia and OPEC to push out oil since January. It took them 6 months to respond.
Much like you, I'm not trying to call AMC based on technicals of AMC. I'm looking at the overall market and where do we have inflows of money to the market as a whole or outflows? Because almost 80% of the stock charts look the same. It's all pattern trading by computers. It's not, no one, until we get a catalyst specific to us, we're at the whims of the market.
Yeah. Tony's right about that. No doubt about it. Gary's asking what time your show starts, T, in the morning.
I'll be on 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern, right when the market starts. Unless if pre-market is juicy, I'll come on early. I'm usually up looking at stuff, checking news, and by 6 a.m. in the morning, a couple of hours, getting ready for the show. If it's really juicy in pre-market, I'll be on early. This is a picture of, since we were talking about EV companies, from a company called Mullen. Some of y'all might have heard. And I put this picture up in my Discord and asked folks, what do you see wrong with this photo they put on their Twitter last month, April?
No, there's nobody working.
Talking about their production facility. I think this one's in Tunica. They have 2 of them. What do you see in this photo that does not appear correct? Now, in my corporate life, I built a couple factories and got them signed off to go into production, not for cars, but for mass production of consumer products. It was high-tech stuff. So I've been around a few factories, and there's a few things here that stand out to me that are big red flags. That this was a staged photo. Number one, if you go on their website and you see all the robotic arm pictures on their website, you see none of that. Those are just stock photos. It's not really their factory. All these robot arms, they don't have that. These are very basic builds. I think that they're getting these vehicles from China or somewhere and then adding their technology to them, which I don't have a problem with. But that makes the manufacturing process easier. So I don't have a big problem with that. But notice here, there's no parts anywhere. There's only one vehicle. There's no employees. There's 0 tools. No sort of electronic, air-powered, whatever, tools at all. Nothing. There's nothing here. This was a staged photo. And I read that they imported 1 of each van type. They have
really?
They have 2 different van models, and the fact that I don't see an assembly line full of vans just reinforces to me that everything that I've read about Mullen, even their own literature, says that they are not really going to be in any sort of meaningful production until 2024 or 2025. So the only reason I'm bringing that up is if you're listening to people that are telling you Mullen's about to blow up to a $20 billion company next week, and that is what people are saying, how are they going to become from 500 million to 20 billion with 0 production for 2 years? This is a pump and dump that these YouTubers are doing to you. Could retail FOMO the price up again to $4? Absolutely. But I'm sorry, I do not see Mullen squeezing to $20 or $100 like people are saying. They got to get in meaningful production. And if you want to buy it for $1 and hold it till 2025, I got no problem with that. Yep. But don't be YOLO in your life savings. These guys are literally saying load the boat, put everything in Mullen this week.
Yep. Somebody here is saying pump and dumps on Mullen. A lot of people in the chat are saying that. A lot of people don't have any. Oh, look at the picture Tony's got up there. What do you see? I think Tony's 100% dead on here. First and foremost, there's no employees. That's an issue. No one's even in the building. Where the hell is everybody?
The Chamber of Commerce in Tunica has said that Mullen is not doing any meaningful hiring of assembly line workers at this point.
Interesting.
That also should be a red flag. Not saying that it can't short squeeze, but also the number of shares. You know how many shares they need to cover in Massalorian?
No, how many?
3 million.
Oh,
you know how
okay.
fast they could do that?
In 2 seconds.
In about 15 minutes.
Yep. Kasia says only one vehicle on the production line, question mark. Yep. Brendan and Ella said, this is for you, Tony. Thanks for the stream. I'm back and forth from yours and Mass, from Brendan and Ella. Let's see.
Kasia says might be a good chance to try out the PPN strategy. Yes, that is a good point. If you see Mullen squeeze and you have the ability to short, if you're able to see the volume declining and the stock peaking, that might be a moment to short it and make money on the way down. I'll admit I've been tempted to buy some calls for Mullen with like $1.50 or $2 strike 90 days out. There are Mullen Army retail people that are very bullish on the stock, but I think they're being a little bit delusional. Not because Mullen's a horrible company, but they're years away from meaningful revenue. Any revenue, really.
Yeah. Never mind profit. Yeah. Super Steven saying the CEO of Mullen sold at $1. That's all you need to know. # short. Great point.
He sold
Steven.
750,000 shares last week at $1.
Yep. Great point. Take that in your pipe and smoke it. Let's see. Derry D says, how do we think, and a lot of people saying Mullen is done. How do you think the GME dividend, sorry to go off subject here, T, GME dividend could impact AMC? So Dario, we've been watching GME and AMC, and they kind of mirror each other, right? From time to time, at least since the run up in June, they pretty much, I mean, they were running a little less together leading up to the June run up, but since then, they have run almost in tandem. So any good bullish news for GME, I don't think will ever have a bad impact on AMC. Those two are just together forever. They're always going to be mentioned in the same sentence. They are here with us till the end. So I think it's good that we accept that fact and be happy that when GME makes good moves, it helps AMC and vice versa. I always forget, Tony, do you own AMC? I mean, GME?
Yes, I have both, but I did not own GME. I did not own it in the January squeeze last year.
Neither did I. Just so
I was watching it, and that's what got me to start paying attention. You know, just like I watch every play that is rumored to run up, that one stood out as something very different, and the price didn't really come down like they normally do. And then I really started paying attention, and that's when I decided GME was still a little too pricey. I thought I could wait and buy it in cheaper, which I eventually did. But AMC was only, it was under $10 at that time. So I started buying AMC.
I gotta be honest, it was really cool, nice for me to be able to talk to Jackson Hunter the other night in the chat, because he was one of the first people that I was watching back in February and March when we started making our little run from $4 after
to talk with who?
Jackson Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Jackson's
a good dude.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys that I started watching about AMC. He was one of the first guys. Let's see. What was that? A Gary Gensler photo. What? Let's see. Not Money Advice says, I'm investing in Mullen because unlike AA and the CEO, David is out of shares to dilute. So they've
been diluting weekly or every other week for the past couple months. I don't know. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it went from something like 40 million to 350 or 400 million.
Wow.
They've been diluting the hell out of this thing. And people are saying that's bullish, but yes, I think they're close to maxed out on how many more they can add. So now that the dilution's done, you might see some real buying pressure effect. That is one thing I could say to the positive. I don't think they can dilute it anymore.
Okay.
And Mullen needs money, right? They're about
they need capital. Yeah.
They're about to take their one car on a 19 city tour this month. I checked to see if they were coming to Austin, but they're not. Dallas and Houston. But this is what these companies do. They build a prototype and they show it off, and they show off photos like I had up on the screen there to get investors hyped because they need money to get into mass production. So they're not doing anything wrong necessarily, but you got to understand it for what it is.
Remember the Nikola commercial that they filmed with the 18-wheeler rolling down the street. It wasn't actually running. Remember, there's no engine in it. It was just being pushed on a road with a slight decline. It wasn't running. The truck was not running. And Nikola, a lot of people got screwed with Nikola. I remember that.
Mullen did have a very positive battery test that just came out a day or two ago, that they have been testing their batteries for the last 30 days at an independent facility. And those results actually met the hype and the expectations that they're putting out there. So that is a positive for Mullen, but a battery is not a vehicle. No, battery is not a factory tooled up and ready to go. A battery is not, hundreds of millions of dollars of chassis ordered and shipped and waiting in the parking lot to be assembled with your technology. They need a lot of money.
Yeah. They are on the ground. They are in ground zero right now. They are on the ground floor working to establish.
And I'm not picking on them. A lot of EV companies are in the same boat, right? I'm just talking about Mullen because it's being hyped right now. And I hate to see people lose money, but I think, buying in at $1, if they don't go bankrupt, you'll probably be okay by 2025.
Only 3 years away. Good time. 24 in the Money says the Japanese in the 1980s claimed to have robotic auto factories. This scared the U.S. Big Three to move towards automation. When they visited factories in Japan, finally, they had very few robots. Yet there is a lot of BS out there, no doubt. Old Marshall says, go Mullen. They are supposed to... They're supposed to announce a deal this month, quarter news soon. What's I haven't heard of that. Some kind of buyout or what?
Back in March, he teased a big deal that was going to be signed for a real production order of these vans, the ones that I had up on the photo, with the Fortune 500 company by the end of Q2. So that would be by the end of this month that we're in right now, right? And then he was going to do a big press release about it. He's also, though, teased deals that he was going to sign with a cannabis company to buy 1,000 vehicles. And then it was discovered that company, which is in Houston, has one retail location. Why do you need 1,000 vans to deliver? There's just some things that make me question everything that comes out of Mishery's mouth, David Mishery.
That's very good.
That would be if he does have a real announcement by the end of this month, absolutely, that would be a great catalyst. But then does he have the vans? They're not building these from scratch. Look at that assembly line. He's based out of Brea, California. I've talked about this once or twice. I've been to Brea, to custom auto manufacturer facilities, toured their facilities, and bought vehicles from companies like this. Yes, I have. So I'm very familiar with how these type of guys work. And this is most likely a chassis that he's buying and then putting his specific tech and customization into it. That's what Brea is known for, Brea, California. There's all sorts of shops and companies that do that work. It's fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
But I don't see a ground up car manufacturer here.
No, not from these pictures. Bonnie asked, any plans to have AMC Bigums on? So, Bonnie, we had him on the last live stream. When did we live stream? Monday night?
Yeah, he was just on.
He was just on Monday night with us, Bonnie. Me, Tony, and Bigums were on together. So if you go to Tony's channel or my channel, it'll be up there. Let's see. BlackBerry rips with AMC and GME. Calls are dirt cheap. See, my only problem with some of these, the red box to BlackBerries, none of the fundamentals make any sense for any of these companies. I mean, I don't know because I haven't looked into them in depth, so I could be wrong about that. I shouldn't even say that. But compared to the other meme stocks, AMC and GME are just in a whole different ballgame, in my opinion. Those are two companies that there is no effing way are going out of business anytime soon. On top of that, I don't know. GME just seems like to me they're just becoming a monster. I mean, the way people are talking about, I swear, the longer this goes on, the more I have this weird feeling that GME is going to rip first. I know I shouldn't say that because we don't do that kind of stuff here, but I really do feel like GME is going to be the one that takes us off. Common Sense Investor, good evening. He's saying go Mullen. So CSI must be heavy in Mullen. So he wants to see some good catalysts. Sergeant Beef says only if Mullen is successful with their battery and they get bought out would they become profitable. So who is someone maybe we would think that would be in that position that would want to pick up something like Mullen? Like who? I mean, is that
They
something?
I think that they have a different battery technology than Tesla. And the CEO in an interview with Todd Alt a day or two ago was talking about if he is successful in getting this battery. I think he was talking about his solid state battery, not a lithium one. He was talking about licensing the battery to other companies. So that could have some value. I mean, you could make a play off of a different battery technology. And he's looking at how can he build batteries where he's not constrained by global supply issues.
Okay.
That was what he's talking about. And he has another interview tomorrow, I think, on Benzinga. If you're following Mullen, you might want to watch that. And go watch Todd Alt's channel is called Risk On. And there's a 50-minute interview yesterday. Mostly all they talk about is batteries.
Okay.
I've watched that one twice now.
You know, it's interesting. There's a documentary channel called Underreported World. You ever heard of it on YouTube?
Nope.
And they were doing a report from the Democratic Republic of Congo. They were showing the cobalt mines that are there and all the Chinese conglomerates that had huge mines there. But then the staggering amount of people who were on their own digging these unsafe, collapsible, with no masks, no protection. They're down sucking in this metallic stuff from the air from the mining where they're trying to pull this cobalt from. And all the kids are getting all kinds of bent feet and their hands can't open. They can't chew. We can't have food because of all the toxic metals. And, you know, we sit here and clamor about how ungreen we are. And you look at countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo and you're like, man, you know, for all this good it's doing, a lot of people are suffering right now. So we can rush this process to try to get EVs out in the next 10 years. And people aren't looking around at what the effects are of going green because it's having its side effects. No doubt about it on people.
A lot of American companies turn a blind eye to that stuff too. As long as they can get it cheap, they don't worry about it. But when I was starting up factories in China and in Mexico, both part of our checklist was employee safety and well-being, you know, not just producing the product, but making sure that it was being done in a way that our shareholders would not be appalled by.
Right. That's a good way to do it.
And we did have to get them to change some stuff because like that's not always the norm in Mexico or China.
Yeah. China. Yep. Let's see. So me and Julie have a bet for a banana that AMC goes first. All right. That bet is on, Julie. I definitely will take that bet. Doxino's getting tired from martinis. Dave says, good night, everyone. Thank you, Tony and Mass. Dave, have a good night. Thank you so much. Bonnie R says an EV battery can cost up to $20K to replace. Yeah, especially if it's going into Tesla, right? They are building the factories right now that are the factory that will, I forget how Elon's wording it, but basically the car, the factory. I can't think of the words now that he's using. Help me out here. What does he say? The factory that built the factory, or no? What is? I can't remember now. But he, the factory that they're building now, the mega factory, the one that's in Texas, right? That's going to be the mega factory. That's going to be
The
like completely
gigafactory.
automated. That's a gigafactory. Thank you.
That is the new model that they're going to. I don't think they build the batteries in the gigafactory. I think they build them in a separate facility. I'm not a Tesla expert, but I know the gigafactory is a end-to-end full production facility.
Right. And they are trying to incorporate the battery cells into the frame now. Do I understand that correctly? On the new Teslas? That's what I'm trying to get at.
I'm not yet a Tesla expert. I just play it for momentum, but I do plan on becoming one because I think it is a great company for the future.
Me too.
I need to learn more about it, but there's just so many EV companies. I'm just like watching them for momentum. I'll play any of them on momentum. Don't get me wrong. If I see Mullen moving, you can bet I'm going to jump on it. I just want to be the voice of reason so that you guys aren't bag holding, hoping for $100 like some of these guys are saying.
Truth. Arthur says, Steven says, who else is paying $7 a gallon for gas? Steven, where are you? Are you in California? Tony, you're not paying that much, are you?
No, we're about $5.
$5
in Texas.
Still. Is anyone remotely concerned about how COVID could, unless resolved, create a massive windfall of an economic disaster? At this point, Arthur, I don't know. Not at this point. I mean, I think we're out of the woods with COVID after 2 years. I could be totally wrong. I know they're gearing up for a lot of things, but I'm over it.
I saw someone was trying to get the airlines to make us wear masks again. Did you see that in the news this week?
No.
Yes.
Are they really?
Yes.
What's wrong with people? Christ. People are nuts. Thank you. Seeker of knowledge, the machine that builds the machine. That's the line I was looking for. And Mike says Gigafactory. Thank you guys. And Tony.
Julie Barwick, thank you. You are amazing, Julie.
Thank you, Julie. Yes, you are amazing. Clark says green energy has never been about green energy. That's right, Clark. That's right. Let's see. Peter says Tony is correct. They built it to counter the supply chain issues everyone else is experiencing. Yeah,
I think he means the Mullen battery, I think is what he's talking about.
Right, because you were saying that they were trying to make sure they're going to have enough chips. Is that was that the thought process?
No, it's just a different technology because I think that lithium. Again, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not a Tesla expert, but I think Tesla's batteries are lithium. Is that right?
Yes, I believe you're right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mullen is going a different direction and not using lithium or things that they have to worry about having supply chain shortages on. So that is what he's trying to do different.
Yes. Thank you, Julie, very much. And
Net Devil says, should we take our profits from AMC and buy all the top cruise lines? I have leaps on Norwegian cruise line. No, Royal Caribbean. And they are not performing well. Let me tell you, I bought them 6 months ago. And if you look at the stock chart for RCL, it was like at $95 and we're now around 55, 60. I don't even look anymore.
I remember you talking about them. I remember you talking about buying them. That was like 6 months ago, right? Pretty much.
At this point, I'm just praying I can get out, break even. I mean, we need a economic and COVID miracle to get back to $100. I need it to be at $100 by January.
And I've heard good things about I've heard good things about the cruise market, that they're giving good deals to people.
I mean, recreational spending is good, but these fuel prices are probably slaughtering them.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. I'm not giving up yet. I'm not going to sell them at a loss, but good Lord, it's painful. It was one of my bigger positions, the RCL. And when the stock dropped, I doubled down. and it still went down more. So not
You
my
double
best
down
play.
as you continue to fall.
Yeah, not my best play.
That's all right. It happens to
We'll
everyone,
make
right?
up for it with AMC and GameStop. That's fine.
That's right. Is
And I
monkeypox
still have
lockdowns next?
still
Open up
have
on
7
it.
months.
Yeah, you still got 7 months to play with them, right?
Yeah.
American Dream News 6.2 says in Uvalde in San Antonio, it's $4.29 a gallon. We just drove through Uvalde. It's a very, very, very strong Texas law presence. They're late and a buck short on presence right now, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, they waited way too long to go into that building. No fucking way you wait that long. I don't care who's operational, tactical. You make the call on the ground to go in and put the shooter down. I don't understand. That was the technical. That was the planning. They had just recited 2 weeks before or 2 months before. I can't remember how long. They had just run this whole scenario, and it was engage the shooter as soon as possible. There was no doubt about that. They even have. I've seen video of them practicing it, and that was what they did. They went right in and took the guy down.
Call Me Dragon says, my buddy just went on a cruise and got stuck in Greece with COVID for a week.
Oof.
Ay.
Good place to be stuck, though. I'll take
Yeah.
that. I mean, if you got to be stuck anyway, why not Greek island? Susan, thank you, Dawn, for our toothpick stash. Good night, everyone. Hoddle, thanks so much. Let's see. Six Sun says, Tony, are you still buying BKKT? And where do you see it going? Are you still in BKKT?
Yes, I still am holding BKKT. I've been adding on the dips, and I'm just holding it until crypto slowdown that we are in gets resolved. So, oh man, when people always ask me about crypto mining companies, BKKT, things like that, they're very tied to the price of Bitcoin and crypto in general. So back hold going to be dependent on what happens with the crypto market. I might have to hold it for a couple years. The main play for me that they were doing different and early was a crypto-backed credit card, type thing.
Yep.
But if Bitcoin doesn't run up to 60 or 100,000 in the next year, I don't think BKKT is not going to do much.
Right.
So for me, just one of many other plays that I bought with a plan to hold for a long time. I'm not worried about any of these plays that I'm in unless crypto just goes to zero, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, we literally need to fall off the map.
I have no timeline for backed holdings because I don't know when crypto is going to turn around, but I wake up every day hopeful.
Me too. Costco printed says the FOMOster. If you think gas shortage is bad, wait till electric shortage comes from the green BS. That will affect you more. Well, we saw what happened in Texas last year. No heat for what? 10 days you guys were out of heat? BioLife Hemp, thank you, sir. Quick question. If quizzes are quizzy, what are TWS? Do you know what this is? This is an inside joke between you two? You and BioLife?
Can you put up the comment?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm lost. I don't even know how to take that. I had to answer it.
He sent me, BioLife sent me a video. I'm going to see if we can play it on the air. Hang on one second.
Oh, okay. Mike says, Mass, what's up with Canada and guns? Apparently there's going to be a freeze by the Fuhrer Trudeau. You want to play it? You're welcome, Julie. How can I play it? Oh, you're just going to put it on the screen? Or
I'm going to put it on my other screen. Give me a second.
Okay. Yep.
BioLife said they fixed the SEC's meme investor commercial. So we want to check out the updated version, I think. Hang on, let me get it up here. Full screen. Unmute. All right. You got it?
Yeah. You just got to hit play. There's no volume T.
No volume. Hang on one second. Let me enable volume on this screen share.
And then I think you might have to mute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Welcome back. Your investment, Julie.
I'm going to do some research first.
Now, Brad, it's your investment.
I'll take meme stocks. Invest.
That was well done.
That was pretty cute, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was cool. But who put that together? BioLife?
He sent it to me. Someone on Reddit posted by Moonwalker.
Nice job.
Moonwalker T1000.
Nice job. Nice job.
That is in Reddit, probably in the AMC stock group.
Irishman, have a good night. Thank you for coming by. Ellie says, after AMC, I am out of this corrupt market. I get it, Ellie. I get it. I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody who's gone through this experience to be disillusioned with the stock market. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a little different for some of us who remember 08 and maybe, you know, I think it's a little different. I think it's a little more personal, but it might not be for most creators. I know for me it is, definitely. Freddie says the Massalorian, same thing that happened in Uvalde happened in Parkland, Florida. Same exact thing. Rex has the week before the stand down order. Yeah, man, when you pick up a badge like that, I mean, you are there to serve and protect. You got to put, I understand you're afraid, but you got to go out there and put your body on the line for the kids. That's, if you're not cut out for that, don't join up for the police. It's not your calling.
I read. I don't know if I want to talk about this because we're gonna derail this whole. No, let's not do it. I don't want to demonetize your stream. We'll do it on another stream where we talk about Joey B's press conference tonight about
pew pews. Pew pews.
Let's not add fuel to your demonetization fire. Did you ever get that resolved, by the way?
Yeah, they wouldn't take it off. So the last two videos got monetized though completely, no request review. So it went from the beginning, which is very weird. Last two videos, for some reason, I got over 900 likes. That's never happened before. Not even close. Not even close.
But the live stream we did on Monday, you said as soon as we ended it, you were demonetized, right? Did they fix that?
Before I went over to put us up, it was request review. Yes, they did. The next morning it was fixed. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Good.
Yep, it did get resolved. Yes.
You guys want to know how bad the censorship is? When we did that joint live stream on Monday and we ended it, we both had monetization on. Massalorian's channel, every video he puts out is automatically put under review and demonetized until he protests. So his live stream of the same thing with me on Monday night was flagged and mine was not.
Same exact
That's
words.
how much they're picking on him because of his content and why we're so careful. Well, I try and be careful about what I talk about. I don't want to. I don't want to
saw
add fuel
it,
to
right?
the fire.
I showed it to you, right? I showed it to you that it was on review, right?
Yeah.
I showed you that. Yeah.
They are targeting you because
crazy
because of your content.
Same exact. Me and you spoke the same exact words. One person's was not under review. The other person's was. There was absolutely no different. We logged on at the same time. No difference. Unbelievable. Steven saying, speaking of COVID. So did I tell you what happened the other day when we went? So before my uncle had passed away, at the hospital, there was a COVID outbreak. So both of my parents got COVID after they just got their booster. I'm probably gonna get demonetized for this. So they're sick right now and don't even know if they can go to for the arrangements that are being made right now. Like, it's so insanely crazy. And because of them getting COVID, the last 24 hours, no one was able to go in and say bye to them. So it was horrendous because of this damn disease that was engineered in the lab that nobody asked for. Chris says, always fun and behind their words. What are you guys hearing Friday? Thomas D, good evening. Thomas B says, what are you guys hearing Friday? Sell off and stay around 1213? Or yeah, don't ask me, Thomas B. I blew that last week. Maybe Tony will answer it, but I said we were going down and we didn't.
I was going to answer that question after I review one final time the earnings for tomorrow. I don't remember who's reporting tomorrow. Earnings. Holy smokes. That is amazing what shows up in your Twitter feed sometime.
Yeah.
These apettes, you know, the diamond-handed apettes.
On Twitter? Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I'm aware of them.
Scarlett will walk by like, what are you watching? That was Twitter recommendation. Not me.
Good
All
evening,
right,
Michelle.
Tomorrow, huh?
I was saying good evening, Michelle. Go ahead.
Tomorrow, there's really nothing. BRP is the only anticipated earnings result tomorrow. So
how's next week look?
After the close today was crowd. I did not look at after the close today, but we had CrowdStrike, Lululemon, and Zoomies, and Joanne. I guess that's Joanne's Fabrics. I have not looked, but I mean, we didn't really go down in after hours, so I'm assuming that none of these were horrible. So yeah, tomorrow, let's look at the jobs report. That is what I'm going to be watching in the morning, and if that is not horrible, then I'm going to say close at tomorrow at Max Payne, and I'll do a shot call at $15 or higher in case we get lucky.
There you go. From the mouth of Tony.
You gonna
Denaro.
join in, Massalorian? Are you working tomorrow? Or are you gonna stand by in case of the squeeze?
Yeah, I don't think anything will be happening till probably Saturday or Sunday. So tomorrow I should be around. As of right now, I haven't got any calls from family, so I'm sure nothing's been arranged yet. I don't even know how that's happening with my mother, so I don't really know. But yeah, I should be around tomorrow. I should be. Yes.
All right. If it's looking spicy in pre-market, I'll be hit you up before I go on live.
For sure. For sure. Yucca says, did you guys see the Twitter feed from former SEC branch chief Lisa? Yes, me and Tony did talk about this. We discussed it earlier, not in the live stream, but when we talked before we came on. Yeah, that's I didn't know about that. Tony was aware of that. I didn't know. I just found out about it today, and I mentioned it to him.
She's been on my periphery. She shows up from time to time in Twitter, and I want to learn more about what got her on our side.
Yeah.
Right. That's my first question. How does a SEC former branch manager all of a sudden become such a proponent of retail traders? I love it, but I also want to learn more about her, and her messages are always on point. Maybe Massalorian should be a good interview candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know about her existence. I'm not even kidding till today. I had no idea she was a real person. I saw the tweet and people saying that they didn't know if it was really her or not, but I went back and looked. She's been around since like October of 2013. She's not blue check marked, but appears to be her. I mean, she's been on there tweeting about things. No one's ever questioned it before if it was her in the last 12 years. So KYP, good evening. I see you in the chat. How you doing tonight? So yeah, that was great, Yucca Fritter. I have no problems with that at all. That's it's nice to have her backing us up here. You know, a former SEC person having our
FOMO father is asking if you can pull up Lisa's tweet. Do you have the ability to do that?
Yeah.
She was ranting, FOMO father, about the SEC commercial, the meme trader commercial.
Whoa. Holy shit, Tony. I'm up to 300 followers on Twitter. To the moon, baby. To the moon. All right. Yeah, I should be following her now. So let me just type her name in. It's what's her last name? Brankowski?
Braganza, I think.
Yeah. Braganza. Yeah. Okay. So let's pull this up.
Sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, that's probably her maiden name, right? I would think. Or that
former
might be her
SEC branch chief Lisa Braganza. and I'm not following her either. Let me send her a follow.
Yeah. If she's an 8
She
bet.
doesn't have a blue check mark by her name, so hopefully
Nope.
we need to get her on camera. But I've seen other people interview her, so
Okay.
she's legit.
Yeah. Joined October 2013 with 15,000 followers. I mean, she's not a made up person, that's for sure. Okay, let's see. Which one did you want to pull up? Which tweet in specific did you want to talk about?
The one we were talking about on the phone earlier.
Okay. Yeah, this is it right here, right? SEC could make a video about how it permits institutional investors to trade ahead of retail investors and use information they gather via dark pools to make money at expense of retail investors. This is not like physics. There are no immutable laws requiring it to be this way. And then she went on to say, hey, I didn't even see this one from 13 hours ago. Is the goal of the SEC and government hashtag investor protection, or creating the impression that retail investors are protected in order to keep the money flowing into U.S. markets? Asking for a friend. Interesting. Okay, let me go back and get that tweet. I know the one you're talking about, T.
Someone said TMI interviewed her. I think that was what I saw on my feed. I didn't watch the interview yet. But
Okay.
Yes, someone interviewed her recently.
TMI. Very disappointing to see the SEC disparage investors in meme stocks as if they must have done it thoughtlessly, especially when at SEC Gov permits most trading to take place in the dark pools. How about a video about dark pools at Gary Gensler, or better yet, get trading into the open? And she continued on to say, or spending the money and staff time on stopping short seller abuses of retail. That would be harder than disparaging retail investors. That is why I bought AMC and GameStop. Hashtag apes together strong. Hashtag apes not leaving. That's awesome. Great. Great to have another ally that used to work at the SEC, right?
Has she been on Charles Payne's show yet?
Not that I remember. I don't remember. I don't remember her, T, honestly. She might have been. Want me to search YouTube and see? It's possible.
Cassius Bozeman says we need another bingo night. You guys need to bug Ape Father to do another another debate with somebody. Who should Ape Father debate next?
Has he had a debate recently?
Not since the last one with Strongman. That was when I did the bingo. We could do bingo on a weekend night. I need a good topic to create a bingo card around. I think I'm finally recovered from that night.
Oh yeah. Yes, she is on here, T.
On Charles Payne?
Yeah. Yep. There's
how long is the clip?
Let me see. Looks like there's 2 different videos with her. If this is her, it came up in the search.
Says Maddie interviewed her a while ago too. MK.
Oh, that's who I think I'm thinking. I think I saw Coors interview her. Yes, I believe he did.
Nick Paletti, shout out to you in Leander, right up the road from me.
How far are you from Uvalde, Texas, T?
A couple hours.
Okay.
South of me.
So it's pretty far. It's not close.
It's 90 minutes directly south from where I'm at to San Antonio, and Uvalde is west of San Antonio a little bit. So you got to go on either a state highway or go down to San Antonio and then go over. So about 2 hours.
Got it. Let's see. This video is from looks like October 1st, 2021. And this is right after this interview came right after the information was released to the public about the communications between Robinhood and Citadel. And looks like Payne has her on here. Is this her? I don't think this is her. This ain't her, is it? I can't tell. It doesn't say in the description if this is her or not. I don't think this is her. She doesn't have red hair, right?
Not money advice. I feel you, bro.
Oh, this is her. This is her. Should we put it on? She's talking about
Yeah.
AMC.
If it's not like 10 minutes, most of his
It's
clips are like
5.
2 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's
That's-
5, but I can just pick it up like at the 2-minute mark right here. Let me see. Let me get some volume here. Okay.
Oh, BioLife Hemp says do a bingo card on Chris Norland video. That's a good idea. I could watch a couple of his previous videos to see what to make the bingo card and then do an unveiling of his newest video. I like that. Except I don't want to give him publicity either. What to do? What to do? I like the idea. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Of Chris Norland? Okay. Do you want me to pull this up, the video, or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Share.
The new information that just came out. So it's a little puzzling.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's a Citadel Securities, there's Citadel, the hedge fund, there's a lot of ways you can technically say, no, we didn't speak to them because another entity did. And they're sort of all under the umbrella of Ken Griffin. And I just think what people are looking for here is just greater transparency. At this point, since, I don't know, do they wait for the case to come to a conclusion? People out there really now say they smell a rat and they think something is wrong.
I think the information that came out in the most recent class action complaint filing was pretty explosive. And it's an odd thing for Citadel to be saying, first of all, that, I, Ken Griffin, did not talk with Vlad Tenev. Oh, who cares? The two entities are communicating. We know that now from these communications that have come out and are cited in this new complaint. So now, it appears that Citadel's theory is, that they're trying to sell everybody in the world on, is that if the DTCC, which is that clearing entity that sets can establish margin calls and require additional margin from brokers, since and Citadel seems to be saying, since DTCC demanded that that Robinhood put up an additional $3 billion to cover its trading, that absolves Citadel completely of any possible wrongdoing, and that just seems ridiculous. All decisions made by companies, by individuals, are the function of a whole lot of information, and to say just because there happens to be this great email from Citadel's standpoint, right, demanding $3 billion, that does not whitewash everything else. So I think it's going to be really important for the SEC and for class action lawyers and frankly for the public, given that Citadel has decided that it wants to talk about this in the public realm. It's important for everyone to be able to see what was the mix of information that Robinhood had. I mean, there were all kinds of things that Robinhood was probably considering at that time. When you're talking to DTCC and they are telling you have to put up an additional $3 billion, I am sure that it's just not an on-off switch. There's probably, there are different things that can happen. And as we saw, they didn't put up $3 billion, but they did establish, some trading restrictions. Well, what else did they consider? Maybe they chose the trading restrictions because that's good for Citadel.
Yeah, and that's the question. And a lot of people are drawing their own conclusions, but certainly there's something there, right? When they say there's if you see smoke, there might be fire. With these emails and these correspondence that now are available to the public, I think it's been a game changer. We'll see. Always appreciate your legal mind. It's great to have someone who's with the SEC help us navigate.
Sounds interesting.
I'm
glad she's on our side. Yeah. I got no complaints about her, right? By the way,
I guess
shout
I
out
need
to
to go
anybody who's
watch
in the way of
the-
this tropical storm. If
I need
you're
to
out
go
there.
watch the MK and TMI interviews with her because I have not seen those. And then
Me
maybe
neither.
we can get her on, see if I have some other questions that they didn't cover.
I see some people are having trouble in the chat with their comments coming up. Okay. Alfonso, AMC to the moon tomorrow. Mr. JGK, good night. Any thoughts on tomorrow? We touched on it a couple times, Alfonso. I don't think anyone has any huge expectations, but we'll see. We could totally pop tomorrow. There's no reason why we couldn't. Just depends. Peter says, crazy thing is Robinhood is probably at the bottom of the totem pole in the long line of crime that has happened over this whole ordeal. Yeah, T, how much influence do you think that the market makers are holding over the brokers right now? Do you think they have a lot of power or influence over them at this point in the game?
Wow, that's a tough question. Some of the market makers are, as we know, in bed with the shorting hedge funds. I don't know. It would not surprise me if they're conspiring to control stuff between the brokers also. Not at all.
Yeah, like I don't feel like that's probably ever stopped, right? Probably not.
Citadel, for example, is one of the primary options market makers. Surprise. Citadel and Susquehanna.
The two big boys.
Someone was asking earlier, you know, if we're buying all these options and they're expiring, is that funding them to short the stock? Well, it's definitely funding their coffers, but I don't know, you know, I don't know what their collateral position is like, how much money they need to keep shorting it. They only need collateral to short. They don't need cash to short. You're making money when you short.
I think people forget about that a lot. I think people take that for granted a lot, that they don't need cash, right? Riptide, thank you so much. Riptide says, love you both. Glad to see you both streaming together. I watch you both. Riptide, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you always.
Cassius says KC Shaw hates Lisa. I'd like to hear a 1 or 2 sentence summary, Cassius, of what he said, just because I haven't heard that. But I'd like to hear his perspective. If you can summarize it, if you think you could do that, and then maybe I can ask him for his thoughts directly. Yeah,
Reza, good evening, by the way. Reza was asking about tomorrow, or what did I just have? I just had your thought up. Sorry, Reza. I do this sometimes. I lose my place. Alfonso AMC says, I'm from Mexico. We love US. Hey, we love Mexico too. It's the last time I was shot at. Let's see. Can't use China no more though, LOL, says Mr. Super Speeder tomorrow. Yeah. As of right now, nothing's changed, right? So is there a possibility tomorrow that we could wake up and they've extended the order for another year?
Sorry, I was sending Pam a message.
That's okay.
What was the question?
I was saying, is there any possibility we wake up tomorrow morning and they've extended the executive order for another year?
Sure. I mean, there's always a possibility. I would be surprised. I'm not expecting that, but anything's a possibility with how wrapped around China's finger is the Biden family.
Questions. I don't know. I can't get into that, Tony.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Cassius says he thinks she is out for herself and wanting the apes to hire her to tie up in litigation. Okay, so Cassius, you're assuming, or Casey is assuming that maybe the apes would want to hire her as an attorney to actually represent them in a case against someone. Hey, that's that would make sense. That's why she's out there barking, right? Showing that she's paying attention to it. I don't know. I guess we'd have to talk to her. I want to talk to her personally and find out what she says. I haven't ever heard Besides what she claims in her tweets that she's doing this to help retail.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of litigation. If that's her angle, I don't know if it is because I haven't listened to her interviews, but I'm not in this for years of litigation. I can tell you that.
No, me neither. Not even months of litigation. William says, if an entity borrows shares, when do they pay the lender interest? That is paid on a yearly basis, T, right?
That is another one that I've been trying to reach out to Lauer or Cahodas to answer, and I don't have a firm answer.
Okay.
On these big institutions, do they pay daily, weekly, monthly, annually? Do they pay a certain fee for 90 days on the day they borrow? I don't know the answer to that, but I'd love to know. And if anyone knows someone who can get one of these guys to answer that question, you know, I'm not on, they don't answer my questions anymore. They're too busy.
Too busy. No time for us. Little pipsqueaks. Doc says Shaw is correct about her. Usually I go with Doc. Whatever Doc says, I usually just second that. Numiga, good evening. How you doing tonight? Did you guys touch on the huge spike T at the end of the day on AMC? Delay in ticker. My Webull shows 14.19 on the 5-minute. By the way, don't let me forget about that. T, did you see that?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's on my screen right here. There's one wick for 1 minute where it went. I mean, this is not uncommon. The SPY at about the same time had a major, and the NASDAQ both had huge wicks down.
Oh, really?
At about the same time. I don't know what causes those, but I usually just think some order got entered incorrectly and somebody got fucked on a trade and then it went back. So I don't worry about little glitches like that.
New Mega, I hope that helps. I think we've seen that a couple of times, right? We've seen that a few times.
See it often, and not just in AMC, but I mean, you can see it right now. And the SPY and NASDAQ did the same thing, but they only went down. Somebody got a poor execution, stop loss hunt, order entered incorrectly. I have no idea. Dave Lauer would be the one that could dig into and answer those. Yeah,
he would know, right? He would know.
Mike,
good evening.
A 1 minute glitch of $1 at the end of the day. How big a deal is it?
We're not going to start the MOASS with that. We could probably say that. Mike says, was just asking about you. You ready for the tropical storm? I think that's heading over Mexico right now, isn't it? So be careful if you're in the path of that storm. It's not heading towards Texas, Tony, right? I know it's down in south, right? This tropical storm. Or do you heard about it?
I rarely go outside other than to let the pets out. So I haven't even been looking at the weather. Someone asked me the other day, did we have a big windstorm this weekend? I was like, I don't know. I
have no idea.
I was blearing my eyes out on the computer all weekend trying to work.
Oh my God. What a weekend. That was a grind. Oh my God. And then I rolled right into this whole family thing this week. It's like unreal. I was like, oh, I literally had like a couple hours on Tuesday to relax.
Steven asking, have I tried the peanut butter whiskey? No, but I need to, you guys forgot to remind me to go buy my champagne. So maybe on lunch break tomorrow, I'll run up to the corner package store and get my champagne, my Veuve Clicquot, or however you say it. And my peanut butter whiskey. I want to try that.
Peanut butter whiskey is amazing. It is amazing. Very good. Can't remember the last brand that I had. I'm a big Whistle Pig fan, and I forget if it was Whistle Pig that made it. That makes a good peanut butter whiskey. Pretty awesome, though. You never had it before, Tony? It's pretty wild.
I have not. It's
good. It's good. Did we see what happened with Microvision? No, American Dreams. I did not. I own Microvision. What happened with them? I forgot I even owned them until you just mentioned it up. What happened with them? Because I bought that, I think, at like $20 a share. So I'm down big. Screwball. That's it. Not Whistle Pig. Screwball.
Is that the brand?
Yeah. Screwball. Yep. Thank you. Right. Not Whistle Pig. Screwball. Yes. Eddie Trades. Thank you, sir. Shoot. Someone just put a chat up. I gotta read.
Thomas. Yes. I am in Austin. Yep.
Austin and Boston.
Austin, we got a fellow Texan in the chat, Thomas B. Shout out to you in Houston. I get down that
Shout out
way every
Houston.
now and then. Not lately. Not lately.
People are asking about this lawsuit now. We have not hired this woman. We just brought her up because she had made a tweet today that we just read off. She was saying that she's an ape and holding, and that the SEC is wasting money.
Money Bag, shout out to you in Round Rock. KC Shaw is closer to you than me, I think. He's in the Pflugerville, Round Rock border area. All right, I'm fixing to, as we say in Texas, I'm fixing to wrap up my participation in tonight's live stream because I want to be sure and get a good night's sleep before the big day tomorrow.
Yes.
I have no idea if it'll be a big day tomorrow, but just in case, I would like to be up several hours before the bell rings so I can check on pre-market. And I don't want to be live streaming until 2 a.m. tonight and then miss all the fun in the morning. If it's, I will be for sure live in the morning at 8:30 a.m. Central when the bell rings. If anything is exciting happening in pre-market, well, I'll be sure and come on early. So come back and check out the channel tomorrow, and Massalorian, if you're available, and we're just on fire in pre-market, I'll do a restream so you can join in.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And guys, I'm going to stay on for a little while just because I don't know how long it's going to be before I can get back on here the next couple of days. So I'm going to stay on a little longer than T, just in case it's going to be a couple of days before I can get back on. But T, thank you so much for coming by.
Hey, thank you. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Good chat. We covered a lot of good topics, and I wish the guy that was saying we were calling out the EO as a catalyst tomorrow would have stuck around to hear us talk about it, but he put his little insults and bailed. So just to recap, if you're just joining in, we don't talk about dates. We're talking about the possibilities, and tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned, is probably going to be a regular day. But if a catalyst happens, and like it did 2 times in 2021, I will certainly take it because we're all ready for this play to be over. So
yeah, we are ready.
Peace
Tony,
out.
thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Massalorian.
Love you, buddy.
See you guys in the morning.
Have a good night. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to stay on for a little bit with you guys just because, like I said, I don't know when the arrangements are going to be. I don't know if they're going to wait till my parents feel better or aren't sick. They can't obviously get the whole family sick. So next couple of days might be awful. But so I'll stay on. I'm going to stay on for at least another half an hour with you guys and just hang out. Thank you, Angelina. So American Dreams was saying, Clark, thank you, was saying that Microvision went up and maintained its strength throughout the day. Yeah, I've still been waiting for them to possibly, I was hoping that they were going to, with their technology, their LiDAR, hook up with some EV companies or someone. I just thought they were a much better situation a year ago than they are now. But Thomas B says, I still have, Pam, good night. Thomas B says, I still have 8432, boys. All right, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Annie T, you're very welcome. Have a good night, Annie T. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. Appreciate you. It's actually been nice because it's kind of just taken my mind off all the negativity. Yeah, and if you guys remember to hit the like button, amazing. I'm back, baby. Javi, how you doing tonight, buddy? Beverly says, do you still think Maxwell and or Sussman trial should have had the same amount of coverage? I know, right? You would think, Beverly, you would think. A little more important, right? Tony says, Steven Seibert, send me a message. Yeah, Javi, good to see you. Tony says, Steven, send me a DM on Twitter. Turning in soon, getting up at 5:30 for trades. Eat Eddie trades. Have a good night, man. Have a good night. Let's see. Hey. Richie, good evening. Good evening. AMC to Pluto. Ow. How you doing tonight, Richie? I'm here at the Massalorian. I was saying to Tony's, I was on. Come on, Pam. I got ditched for Tony. Not for this. No loyalty in this crew. I tell you. Beverly, Mike says nobody. Let's see. Monster 14 says staying up to watch Obi. You haven't seen it yet? I hope it doesn't disappoint. I won't spoil it for you. I will not spoil it. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much. You know, I really hope I get to. I hope I'm going to be around this weekend. I really do. I wish I knew what was going to take place next couple of days so I could plan it out, but I just don't. Let's see. Javi, I see you in the chat, man. How you feeling lately? Oh, I see, Pam. I get it. RK83 says, I can't emphasize this enough, Mass. Thank you for everything you do. You do more for this community than you think. Much love, my dude. Good night from here. Hey, man, thank you very much, bro. Appreciate you. I just want this thing to squeeze, guys. That's it. It's all I care about at this point. I just want the goddamn stock to squeeze. I don't want to be wrong about this. And I want to make some money. I've had my money tied up long enough. I'm not going to do anything with any of that money. Not that I could have made a ton with it, but I might be able to do something with it. Clark says, when the short squeeze starts in AMC, what price does it have to hit to burn down the hedgehogs permanently? It was random. Okay, I lost you guys for a sec. Sorry. Midnight Gamer says AMC is due for a 200% day. Yeah, we haven't seen that in a while, right? It is due. Good point, Midnight Gamer. We are due for that. Diaz, appreciate you, man. Bill Biv DeVoe says, with my luck, we will squeeze and I'll get the vid and tie. KYP says, me too, Mass. Want to get the hell. Exactly. CSI, when squeeze? You tell me. You're the algo professional. You tell me when we squeeze. Let's see. Clark says, when the short squeeze starts in AMC. Oh, I already got this one. Sorry. Mass, what's your background? Are you a daily trader? So, Delta Doc. So I haven't been daily trading in a long time, since before. Actually, that's not true. I probably slowed down to almost a complete stop with any type of day trading or swing trading right around the end of October. I went back to full-time work at that point, and next couple months up until the end of January, I had to stop all day trading because I just wasn't home. I tried doing it from work, but it was really difficult to do on my phone, especially with Fidelity. It seemed like it was easier with Webull, but once I switched to Fidelity last fall, it was impossible. I got screwed on a couple of plays, and I said, fuck it, I'm not trying it anymore. Ape Father says, doing good. Tomorrow is the day we have been waiting for. I hope so, Ape Father, but if it's not, I don't really care. My stock is not going anywhere. It's going to sit in my account until they cover. I've already kissed that money goodbye pretty much. In my mind, I've already just put that money. It's a lot of money, but in my mind, it's sitting there until the day, whenever that is. Okay, I got that already. Yeah, so Delta Talk, my real background is in journalism, actually. I went to school for journalism, and I got into trading about a year, almost 2 years ago. Was when I really started doing like any type of day or swing trading. Before that, it was mutual funds and anywhere I could lock up my money and not have to worry about it. But then with the whole thing of the pandemic in 2020, and then the meme stock run up, and when all that money started getting pumped into the market back in October of 2019, 2020, it seemed like there were going to be some opportunities that were popping up. And I happened to be working with a kid who was going to school for basically to go work at a hedge fund. And he was kind of getting me into day trading and swing trading. And then the whole meme stock thing happened. And then up until last 6 months, I pretty much just ceased all day trading or any type of trading during the day. I've just added some of my positions on the dips. That's it. But yeah, my official background is mostly in journalism. And that's why how I got into this play was doing the DD back in January and February of last year. Then I finally took a position in AMC, then GME, and then I loaded for 4 months running up to June and been holding since. Jeff B. Good evening, Jeff B. How you doing tonight? What's up, Mass? New Floor, KG, and GG both locked up. Price doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah, the price hasn't mattered to me in a while. Carl, thank you very much, man. Yeah, they both went to the hospital and got with both shots and a booster. Came down with COVID. Unbelievable. Let's see. Oh, Clark says, hey, man, you slipping. What happened? Oh, I froze in your question, Clark. Sorry, I froze. I lost the whole stream. When the short squeeze starts, what price does it have to hit to burn the hedgehogs down? Yeah, I think once we hit triple digits, Clark. And the only reason why I say that is because we got the rug pulled under us when we hit, what, 72? We were almost jumping at that point. If you think about it realistically, we almost made like 3 $15 moves in a matter of 2 weeks. And if we got 2 more days of that kind of action, that might have been it. We might have, I mean, I really thought it was over at that point. I'm not even kidding. I thought it was over in June. I thought we were all done. CSI, what's up, brother? See you in the chat. Good evening, all. K-Box says, good evening, all. 1 year, 5 months later, never been hyped more for AMC. All right, baby. I am feeling great. Mass, who's wicked smart? Pam says, when I was in high school, I was in journalism and yeah, I was on my yearbook staff too. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, yearbook was all right. Let's see. Oh, Mike's got a question for Pam. Pam, people are wondering about the housing market. Let's see. I think the Bush. Oh, Angelina is finally going to admit that she's a Fed. Thank you. It's about time. Red Star says it makes sense with the journalism because your geopolitical stuff is good. Oh, thanks, Red Star. I just try to find the facts, man. That's it. Like, I really don't try to be political. I really don't. I've never really been interested in politics till the last year and seeing this administration fail us over and over and over again. I just don't remember these type of failures across the board in every fucking cabinet position under Trump. I don't remember that. I know I had a couple more bucks in my pocket. That's for damn sure. Clark says, is it possible that Gary Gensler has bought AMC shares and nobody knows about it? No, but I think someone did say that his brother had bought shares. I remember that was a rumor flying around. It might actually be more of a rumor. I think there was actually some talk that he had purchased shares. But I'm just glad that people are finally getting to the fact that Gary Gensler doesn't give a shit about retail. I mean, we've been screaming that from the rooftops for months, ever since the GameStop report came out in September. And, we just kept hearing over and over again, oh, no. No, Gary Gensler is all about retail. He's going to help us. Remember my Gensler? Yeah, no. Nothing changes in D.C. Angelina says, thanks for outing me. Leah says, Leah, good evening. She says, after the MOASS, I hope that you get a position covering finance and bring integrity back to journalism. Oh, thanks, Leah. I appreciate that. Yeah, that would be, I want to squeeze so I can start covering other stories and have money to travel. But thank you for the compliment, Lee. I appreciate you. VW says, I think we know these fuckers actually hold AMC GME. My lips are sealed. Steven says, AMC GME says, after MOASS, which country's stock market is safe to invest in? Australia? I got my eye on Brazil. I think they're an up-and-coming country. Steven says, you do understand that COVID was created to kill off most of the older population because they can't afford Social Security. How much money do they save not having to pay the older generation? They don't have the money to pay the older generation right now. We're broke. We're 30 trillion in debt. We don't have money for that. Smith says, Angelina was my last girlfriend when he was a doctor. He was always late, and she thought I should accept. No, not so much. Let's see. Clark says the 44 billion sent to Ukraine is back for them. Yeah, they sent another 700 million today, Clark. You saw that, right? 700 million more. Even though almost the whole army in eastern Ukraine has surrendered and is retreating to non-combat positions. The whole 115th has basically walked off the battlefield, which I don't blame them. They have no support. They got no command and control. They got no weapons. They got no ammunition. They said they have no medical supplies. They got no food. Nothing's getting to the front. Harry Parrott, good evening. Rick James, good evening. Carl J, I see you in the chat. Using the FSCC Zelenko protocols for COVID, one can protect yourself or ease COVID effects. Are those monoclonals, Harry Parrott? You're going to get me demonetized. Let's see. Doc says, Massalorian, thank you for helping this whole battle. Hey, man, I'm with you guys. I mean, I'm just a part of I'm just a cog in the wheel. I mean, we are trying to smash it, right? But I'm just a cog in the wheel. I'm just an ape. Angelina says, I don't know about GG. Seriously, what a dirty turned to be. Angelina, I don't know where the illusion was coming from that Gary Gensler was going to help out retail. I don't know where that rumor started. I don't know how that ever came across anybody's mind. I mean, I could pull it up right now, but I have a thumbnail from September when the GameStop report came out that literally had a dog taking a shit on the lawn. And I said, this is going to be Gary's report. And it was. He basically said that that was all FOMO. There was no naked. There was no nothing. That was just FOMO from retail investing. Okay. Liz Clayman's Whistle says, I advise billion-dollar, multi-million-dollar investors. Never had a bad deal. Liz is talking about commercial real estate. Harry Parrott says, no, they're using vitamins/minerals and ivermectin. The horse dewormer? Come on, Harry Parrott. That's for cattle. Crazy. Horse paste. I'm just kidding, Harry Parrott. I know. Would it make sense for hedge funds to buy AMC and then close their positions? Would it make sense for hedge funds to buy AMC and then close their positions? Yeah, at this price, Casey. I really don't know what shift they are looking for in the market that is somehow going to bring them down so much lower. R3 Drift says, I had more money during Obama and I hate Obama. Jeff says, good night, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Jeff B, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming by, hanging out. You guys have really helped me take my mind off of all the crappy stuff. So thank you. Jay Douglas, good evening. Jay says, Joey said sign June 3rd. It is June 3rd. What if the SEC knows we squeezed at least partially soon? So the advertisement was to warn people not to buy the top. So Jay, I mentioned this earlier with Tony. I think the timing of this is very suspect. The timing of the video last weekend about the Diamond Hand Apes was very suspect. All this stuff right now coming out is very weird, very strange, the timing on all this. I have no idea what's going on. CSI says thanks for the comment, Jay. CSI says tomorrow's news today. I will leave this here. Kenny is a whistleblower. Kenny's going to blow the whistle. Kenny is a whistleblower. All right. I hope so. He should have all the information they need for the DOJ to prosecute. Jeffrey says NFA, I would keep my eyes on all the smaller tickers that ran after AMC, GME in January, June last year. Yeah, right, Jeff? For like a quick run, you're saying tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, definitely keep your eyes on that. For sure. Yep. JC says F the sec. Thank you, Jay. Agreed, sir. Let's see. Angelina says, I don't miss. Oh, Angelina's retired. All right. KYP says, Kenny knows where all the bones are buried. The thief he is. He knows where all the skeletons in every closet are. Right, KYP. Exactly, girl. Yep. The executive order is now in effect because it is past 12:01, says Droobs. Have we seen anything? What time is it right now? 12:37. So what time is it in Germany right now? We have anyone from the fatherland in the house that can give us an update? Carl J says the new show, Massalorian Uncharted. That's a good name. I like that, Uncharted. Arthur says, I did my research. GME was shorted 140%. AMC Q4 2021 was up 620%. GG said 90-95% of retail is being routed to offload exchanges. DD said buy and hold. Yeah, Arthur. Yes. Yeah, 140%. Yeah. And what's the cost to borrow right now? 108. And AMC is up to 11 average. That's great. Those numbers are going. Oh, let's see. Clark says corruption's on both sides of the aisle. Yeah. It's the Democrats and the Republicans. They all suck. Doesn't matter what party they're in. They all suck. Doc Zeno saying, stay strong, everyone. We shall reap if we faint not. Let's see. Mr. Super Cool Dude 123 says, don't mean that they will get margin called right away, but when they do, oh boy. Yeah, so Mr. Super Cool Dude 123, it doesn't even mean necessarily that they're going to get margin called, right? Not necessarily, but could be enough to put them into a position where they start to close. Mr. JGK said, thoughts on volume. So I think Tony just said a little while ago, we were talking about the volume, 45 million. Yeah, I know. 500 million plus. Yeah, we're like 10. It was like 10 times. I know someone was saying it might take up to possibly up to $1 billion to try to get back up to where we were at 34, 35. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but $1 billion would certainly move the needle. AMC GME says, can Mr. President issue? So I just asked about that. We're not sure, AMC GME. We're not sure. We don't know. It's an executive order. So if it does, it's coming from him or whoever's handling him right now. Excuse me. Mike says, Mike Millspa, financial institutions have had 12 months to divest of securities of 15. Yes, exactly, Mike. So we don't know how much of those positions they have unloaded. We know that they were pretty heavy on them, but we really don't know. They could have a lot. They could have gotten a lot of stuff out of their positions by now. Mass, do we know what the 60? Yes, we do. There's a list. It's at, hold on, let me get the link for you. 1 second. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna put a link, copy. I'll put it in the chat, paste. So that was This is where you want to go. If you want to take a look at the, this is it here. The statement. This has all of the companies on it. I believe there's, yeah, just about 60 of them. Joey Trivia Perez Gutierrez. Hi, Mass. How you doing tonight, Joey? Any thoughts? Keep sounding like someone's banging on my ceiling on my roof. Any thoughts on AMC GME price? So, Joey, last Thursday I had this question a million times, and I said we'll probably have a typical Friday. AMC will probably sell off a little bit, and we went up 10%. So, I'm not the person you want to be asking that question to because I don't know the answer ever. Let's see. What's the name of the peanut butter whiskey again? Says Sergeant Beef. Screwball. Screwball brand. Yeah, it's pretty bomb, Sergeant Beef. Pretty good. Rick James says, tomorrow you guys will go crazy. Lupe, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you, man. Very much. Mass, that link doesn't work. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, this is it. This is the one I want. Hang on. Copy. All I have to do is copy and paste it, right? Yeah, that's it. If not, just go to Google, type in 14032, threat from executive order. That's it right there. There's the date, whitehouse.gov. Thanks, Leon, for giving me the heads up. Sergeant Beef says, "This average Gensler in my room." Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the Gens. GG's not my boy, like some other people. Let's see. Is it still saying page not found? I don't know, guys. That's the link, though. If tomorrow turns out to be a nothing burger, how will the YouTubers redact their prediction? Maybe quit calling dates. I don't know. I don't know. I know certain people out there have been hyping this up. Like, I get it and I understand. And these are all friends of mine, acquaintances. These are all people who hold AMC with us. So I'm not looking to call anybody out or do anything like that. I don't think that's ever going to stop with the dates, right? Because I don't think that will ever come to an end because there's always going to be something that's coming up the road that someone can point to and say, until we actually squeeze, keep pointing to and saying, oh yeah, this is going to be it. So I don't know, Lock Shop. I wish I had the answer to that. I think a lot of us wish, and think a lot of harm was done by people in the past calling dates like March 3rd and all that bullshit back in the day. Massalorian, say it's going down tomorrow. Okay, I guess I'll do that. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. It's going down tomorrow, guys. I can promise you that. Hopefully it'll go up 20%. I'll do it for that reason. If it's superstition. Rick James says, LOL, tomorrow is a nothing burger. Do some DD, says Rick James. There is a Ukraine-Russia scenario that involves Ukraine giving up the Donbass region. Done deal, Harry Parrott. Never going back to Ukraine. Donbass is gone forever. Kiss it goodbye to Russia, and then in brokered ceasefire afterwards, we, the U.S., slowly ease Russian sanctions and ally with them. So I heard the State Department come out today and say that they had added more sanctions onto Russia because that's working so well so far. The Donbass region is gone. They are never getting that back. That is and Mariupol. From now on, Ukraine will be a landlocked country, no doubt about it. They will never get back the coast. They can't put chips in there right now anyways, because when that storm blew in, they blew all the mines, the watercraft mines out of where they originally placed them. They don't know where they are. As soon as they're landlocked, they're going to be in for a world of hurt. And Harry Parrott, from what I understand from the reporter who's been on the ground, the Donbass, Gonzalo Lira, what he's reporting is that this is going very badly for Ukraine, yet we keep pumping all this money in there, right, and all these weapons, but that this war is possibly going to be over sooner than we think, and that possibly the Ukrainian military, this is definitely going to get me demonetized. that the Ukrainian military might try to overthrow Zelensky. And because Zelensky is a puppet for NATO and the West and the United States, he is not being allowed to have serious negotiations. He says the stance of Zelensky and the U.S. right now in NATO is until Russia withdraws all forces from before February 28th and before 2014 when they invaded Crimea. They've had Crimea for 8 years. You think, I mean, that's not a real, you're not really trying to sit down and negotiate if you're asking for something you lost 8 years ago and was really never yours to begin with, right? So we're not being serious about the negotiations. But the military leaders, if their men are continuing to be failed like they have been failed so far, the military leaders might try to get rid of Zelensky. That's a very strong possibility, according to Alejandro. Let's see. Quadra Racer says, how do I feel about Redbox stock? I think it's a risky play, Quad Racer. You got to know when to get in and get out of that. That's not something you want to long-term or be holding the bag on. Just be tentative. That's all. Be very careful with Redbox. RW says, Mass, do you think we should feed crying Kenny and Schmiegel GG to the bleacher creatures? That sounds good. I'd like to get Gary Gensler out of the SEC completely. Yeah, pretty much, Peach Dragon. Right. Or they're going to use it to throw a coup in Kyiv. They're going to take the weapons that they just got, and instead of firing the Russians, they're going to surround the capital and depose Zelensky so that they can sit down and have real peace talks. We'll see. Six Sun says, Ukraine has been killing its own citizens for 8 years just because they're Russian descendants. I know, Six Sun. I've done many videos on it. 14,000 people got killed in the Donbass in the last 8 years. No one wants to talk about it. 14,000 dead ethnic Russians in Ukraine. The Donbass is never going back to Ukraine. It is gone forever. Kiss it goodbye. Best thing Ukraine can do is poison fresh water sources with radioactive waste and beneficial land. That's going to go real well for the wheat farms all over Ukraine, having radioactive wheat. I won't be eating any bread from Ukraine, that's for sure. Riptide says, Mass, I love the fact you speak your mind. You know some. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not like we make a ton of money on the videos anyways from advertising. It's like it's $6-7 maybe. So it's like I'd rather just speak my mind. I mean, it sucks getting demonetized, especially when you put all the time into making the videos. The live stream is different, right? I can just pop on here and kind of be myself with you guys, and we can talk about things live. But when you're making a video and you're putting like, you know, music and pictures and video and trying to find certain people saying things from 6 months ago, trying to research Chris Nolan, when was the last time he shorted AMC? That shit takes hours, and it's like there's no payback for that. So, but I love this platform. I really do. So thanks, Riptide, man. Appreciate you. Rick James says, Biggins is not right, but there is another person who hit the damn nail on the head. I owe him an apology. I don't know who you're speaking of, Rick. And I don't know what part of Biggins is wrong. I don't know what you're speaking of there. You got to be more specific. Zelensky is a puppet of Schwab. He went before WEF and begged for help. Any feelings for Ukraine went out the window when Zelensky did this? Yeah, man, it's funny too, because it seems like we are the only country that really is completely head over heels in love with Ukraine being the most corrupt country in Europe and funding them. Food Dog says, now I want tortilla soup. Matt, good evening, buddy. How you doing tonight? Matt Donnelly in the house. I'm doing well, man. I told everyone the last couple of days, I had a family member that passed away. My uncle passed away yesterday morning. And then my parents had him getting COVID, visiting him the day before. So it's been a crazy couple of days. I want to get on here tonight to touch base with you guys, just so I wasn't MIA for 7-8 days in a row. Because I feel like the next couple of days, I probably will have a hard time keeping a tight schedule with everyone. So I want to make sure I just got out there tonight. Clark says, do I think that the Keystone Pipeline? No. Oh, if we win the House and the Senate, Here's the thing, Clark, right? You got to get, you're going to have to get around the Secretary of the Interior, the Energy Secretary. They are all dead set on just just crushing the oil and gas industry in the United States as we cut ourselves off from Russia at the same time. Fucking ridiculous. Real Rugged says, would you, for the MOASS to happen tomorrow? Yes, I would. I would take one for the apes. I might double wrap, but I would take one for the apes. Mr. Cool Dude says, I feel sorry for Ukraine, but I feel bad for the sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's awful. They're being caught in the middle of this shit that has nothing to do with them. Matt. Oh, really? Shit. My sympathies, man. Apologize about that. Sorry about that, Matt. Yeah, it's awful. Pretty crappy. Not fun, especially with the whole COVID thing, because, you know, COVID robbed him of the last 48 hours of his life to be able to see any of his family. It's like so ridiculous. Let's see. Numega says, let's not forget Biden's son in Ukraine. Dark dealings, of course. Joe is sending billions. Ask how much is his VIG. There'd be no. It always kicks up to the big guy, right? You know. Biggums is dead wrong about the executive order, says Rick James. The Butcher was right all along. So I didn't realize. Did Biggums and Butcher have opposing ideas about the executive order? I don't know. Help chat. Help me out with that. I didn't realize that. That would be interesting. Thanks, Droops. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, that's true, Danny. I don't want Monkey. Definitely not. Not before I got to see my extended family for the next couple of weeks. Thanks, New Mega. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Here we go. Rick James says, I tried joining his Discord to talk to him to show him what I found, and you couldn't get in, Rick James. To Boss's Discord? I can't even get in there. Oh. The Mulligan brothers are coming out with documentary. When is that supposed to come out? I thought they said that they were going to wait until they saw how the MOASS played out. I thought the last time I had heard them. Last time I had heard from them, yeah, they had said that. Rick James says, I was tried joining his Discord to talk to him. Oh, okay, I reread that. Adrian says, my uncle passed right after Thanksgiving 2020. Ooh, that was just happened, huh? Mother-in-law, week of Christmas. Jeez. Holy crap. Sorry, man. All right, maybe I need to shut up. I don't have it so bad. That's terrible, Adrian. There's a reason why Soros, Schwab, et al. Are trying hard to defeat Russia's move into Ukraine. Not good. I know. Mr. Vato Loco says people made it a big deal on Bigham's opinion verse, but okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't realize that they had different opinions on it. I didn't. Real rugged Dio. DIY says it's Blue Iris from the Howard Stern show. It's Blue Iris. I miss old school Howard Stern with like Eric the Midget and the Whack Pack. That was some funny times, man. Hey, Riptide, have a good night, man. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good night. Mike saying, let's go, Brandon. Danny R, what's up? Angelina says, please explain the problem. Meaning my wife's parents. Yeah, I figured that. I got that, Adrian. I got that. Ed says the party is over. Matt, thank you very much. Yes, you can't get into his Discord. Rick says. Yeah, I guess I don't know how that works, Rick, to be honest with you. I really don't know. You'd have to talk to somebody who's in I'm not in the Discord with them, so I don't know. Six Sun says Ukraine's banning the opposite political party. I know. They shut down They shut down all forms of or any Russian-speaking media. It's nuts. It's nuts. And they're screaming about that we need to protect democracy as they shut down any opposing media. It's crazy. Celtics baby, says Joe. Dude, went on the road and beat Golden State on the road by 20 or whatever it was. They blew them out. They were down by 12. Holy smokes. Real Rugged says editing a video for a client while attending mass. Not sure the trailer looks epic. I'm assuming that's for soon. You guys talking about Avatar in here, right? Rick says, all right, maybe he has Rick. You have a let's see. The executive order is larger than what everyone says it is. They've been prepping this for over a year. This is MOASS, folks. Rick, I hope to God you are right, man. I hope to God. I am ready to be done with the shit. Did I catch Sleeping Joe's BS tonight? No, Mike. Can someone fill me in? And Adrian, no, I did not. No. Oh, yes, I did today. Yes, it came today. Yes. Yep. So I'll be getting on with you guys. Yeah, I gotta set that up. Like as soon as these services are over with, Adrian, I'll be in. Yeah, so I didn't see what he said tonight. So if you guys want to fill me in, I would love to know what he said. I caught very small member of it, moment of it that when he spoke. I heard him talking about everything that wasn't involved with the Uvalde shooting. I heard ghost guns, background checks. He went through one of those. Assault style banning of assault style rifles. I still don't know. Can you describe to me what an assault style rifle is? I don't know what that is. Ghost guns and background checks. 3 things that had nothing to do with Uvalde, pretty much, is what I heard. And he said we need 10 votes from Congress, from the Senate to pass anything. So forget it. It's just talk. When they come for him, you'll know. They'll be you'll hear shots fired when they really come for him. Too young for good old Stern. Angelina, I remember Stern. Are you kidding me? I'm not that young. Harry Potter says, Master, you're going to slump bust for the movement. My God, penicillin save you. I would do it. If we could squeeze, I would take one for the apes and seep deep into Janet Yellen. That could probably get me in trouble. That's going to definitely get me demonetized. Biden claims more children killed by guns than soldiers. Yeah, or fentanyl for that matter. Right, Liz. Any gun can be used to assault someone. Exactly. Tell Doc says, get your ass in the Discord. I just got it today, bro. It just came today. I will. I will for sure. Buddy of mine has a Chrome extension that allows you to see YouTube. Yeah, I've heard about people. It got 8,000 dislikes. That's a funny stat. I wish I could get a screenshot of that. 8,000 dislikes. Mr. Super Cool Dude, if you can get a screenshot of that and email it to me, it'd be great. Let's see. Kale, what's the name here? Call Me Dragon. Assault style rifles are the scary black ones. Right, exactly. When you see what is in the bill, ain't quite what it looks like, says Joe Indy. You see what's in the bill. Okay, the bill they tried to pass, did they just put on the floor today? I haven't looked into it yet. I probably will do that tomorrow, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, Harry Parrott. Old Stern was gold until corporate came in, until that hag came in, that she-wolf, that succubus. Liberals love gun shooting. Just another way for them to take our guns. Yeah, that's all it is. Yep, that's all it is. That's all it is. All right, guys, it's 1 o'clock. I want to try to get up early tomorrow. I don't know how my day's gonna sort out tomorrow, but I will try to get at least touch base with you guys at some point with either a small video or something. I doubt anything's gonna go down tomorrow, so I probably will have some downtime so I can work on maybe an update on Ukraine and whatever happens tomorrow in the market. We'll see. Hopefully AMC and GME. I mean, I would like to see a green day for damn sure. I don't need the MOASS tomorrow, but I'd like to see us finish the week off nice and strong and come in for a new week next week. You know, not a short week. See what happens with GME tomorrow. I got that bet now with Julie, so I got to be, now I have to root. I mean, it's ridiculous. I got to root for GME to run first. Thanks, KL. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Clark, thanks for coming, guys. Thank you so much. And for all the well wishes and the prayers and all the condolences. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I apologize I haven't been around the past 24 hours, but it's been rough. And like I said, I just want to get out here tonight in case next couple of days I'm not around. And you guys know where I am. But make sure everyone knows that I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Yeah, thank you guys all so much for coming by tonight and hanging out with me. You really helped me take my mind off all the bad stuff. So I really appreciate it. I couldn't do any of this without you. So thank you so much. All you guys. Love you. Love you. I'm out of here. Have a great night. Hopefully we'll talk tomorrow. And if not, it'll be Monday. Love you guys. Take care.